We're good. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Igloo. It's been a while. It's been a long while.
It's
So,
been a minute.
before we even start, I want to explain why it's been so long since we've done an episode. About 3 weeks ago, we did record an episode, a very long episode of over 2 hours, and I didn't hit the audio button, so it didn't record these two. Only
Oopsie
me.
poopsie.
It's a sneak peek at what you missed. Still have it.
Just so you know what you could have had. And then we were going to record last week, but I had COVID and I did not feel good. Thought I felt better, but it was like a second wind of the COVID. But I feel great now. So
It's good. Happy that you've mostly recovered, I should say.
no, don't bark.
Teo's like, I feel good too.
It's not Teo, it's the other two.
Oh,
It's
all
the
right.
roommates' dogs. Teo doesn't bark unless I.
So we getting
Do
into that sweet DR already?
All right,
I'm
so
ready.
if you haven't watched Apollo streams, you might not understand, but there is a franchise called Danganronpa. Would one of you like to explain what that is?
Well, Apollo, I feel like it's better if you do it since you just freshly streamed it. So why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so basically, it's a series of pretty sure it started as games, but it could have been like manga to start with. And they're like murder mystery explorations meet Hunger Games. So basically, it's a bunch of like high school students who have ultimate talents get locked in a school or some other enclosed space for like other games.
I would say it's fair to stay at school, like easily.
Yeah, like I mean, Danganronpa 2 is a little bit different, but generally speaking, it's a school.
Yeah.
And their goal is in order to escape, they have to kill someone and then also get away with the murder. So the game consists of like a visual novel style thing, and then it goes into like a trial court case, kind of like Phoenix Wright or other games like that. And then where you find a murder, and then there's always a fun execution based on their ultimate talent.
I think the easiest way to describe it is a killing game. It's a murder mystery killing game where they lock exceptional students into a enclosed high school-ish area, and the murder occurs, and you have to find out the murderer, or they get off scot-free and survive, and the rest of you die. So
there's always 16 students too.
Yes, and there is absolutely it's always 16 students as well.
So we just finally finished it. Like we're done with everything. Everybody's caught up. Where do we want to start with this? Because there's a lot.
Let's start at the very tail end. Let's go back to Danganronpa 1, since we'll just go in chronological order and talk about them.
So I'm going to start the conversation with saying I think Danganronpa 1 and 3 take place in different realities.
I would say you are correct in the fact that Danganronpa.
He agreed with me.
No, it's true. They do take that's a bit too complex because
I look at it this way: Danganronpa 1, 2, and 3 happened in both realities more than likely. But I don't know. Let me rephrase that. 1 and 2 definitely happened in 3's reality, but 1 and 2 also happened in a different reality. And I think when you play 1 and 2, you're using the original reality, while in 3, you're in obviously the reality where the world isn't fucked up.
The better way to explain that is they all take place in the same universe. However, in 3, 1 and 2 are stories like they would be in our world. Like 3 feigns a real world aspect, and 1 and 2 are video games and manga in that world as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
So, like, to say it's in different realities, that's not entirely. It's kind of true, but kind of not. I think it makes it too complex to call it like that. I would say that 3 feigns a real world existence, and 1 and 2 are fiction, just like in our world. So you're kind of right.
The thing that the reason I think that is because when we end 3. We know that the world isn't all screwy fucky, but at the end of 1 and 2, we know the world is screwy fucky, and we can see that it's screwy fucky with Ultra Despair Girls.
Mm-hmm. And also the animation as well. It does a really good job of showing that the world is still pretty screwy fucky.
Which is why I do think that what you're saying is true, but I think 1 and 2 and Ultra Despair Girls takes place in its AU. But
like I said, it's all theory stuff that like when we go into that, like, but like I said, when you explain it as in different realities or different universes, it makes it sound like they're not connected at all.
Well, here we go with the second part of it, is that the director has said that is true. Which Apollo hates.
I haven't seen that. What I've seen from the director is saying that there. I remember a quote. He said there is no true ending to V3.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I've seen that quote, like, it's open-ended for a reason.
Like the ending is definitely open-ended, but it does take place in a separate like reality.
I don't, because I think there's hints in the game say like maybe Junko at one point did exist, and like V3 is just so far in the future that the world has gone back to normal, and is now like capitalizing off of that.
That's also very true too. Is that 1 and 2 could take place years ago, and now they've turned this kind of idea that Junko had into a game show.
Like what I'm saying is it's all theory based. Like there's no absolute confirmation, and that's what I like. That's what I like about the ending.
I mean, I like the ending of 3 because it's just it's a satire of the author's work as a whole. Because it's like at that current point, he didn't want to make a 3, and the company were pushing for one because it was so popular. So the ending is a satire on like, this is what happens when a popular series gets popular. You have like Danganronpa 25, and you know it's just like it's been going forever. So like this world turned it into a reality TV show and made it like real to just keep it fresh. So it was just him poking fun of the series, going, "This is what it's like if I keep making these. This is what it's going to be like." Like it's an over exaggeration of his work as a whole, and I love that he pokes fun at that. I think it's like absolutely hilarious.
He doesn't want to do anymore.
Like, no, he doesn't. He said that like in the far future, yes, he might make another one, but right now he just doesn't feel comfortable keep pumping them out because he doesn't want them to like go stale like that.
Because the problem now is if you make one, it's going to be hard to follow up with the idea that it was all a show. But if you make one that was a prequel to that one, we already know that this isn't real. Unless we go with the idea that, hey, it's a different reality.
In which case that kind of discounts 3 as a whole. I kind of like the idea of just doing like prequels of like the mid sections, and you don't really need this big twist at the end, almost.
Well, you already know.
No. Twists are a part of the formula, though, so you were always going to have a twist.
True. Like, they can have twists, but it doesn't need to be like, you know, the world as a whole is, you know, all ending or whatever.
I don't think they should be. I think if they make a 4th one, if the author comes back for a 4th one, it should be very loosely based off the events of Hope's Peak Academy, like it was in 3. And yeah, you could have Easter eggs or like a guest star at the very end, but I don't think it should be a continuation of the original Hope's Peak Academy kids. I think it's just fine being its own standalone thing because it can stand on its own feet via the V3 stuff, because V3 is very barely attached to the original series.
Until the very last trial.
Yeah, until the very last trial, and it's like, oh, well, this is the whole connection. I think that they could easily just be like, oh, hey, Monokuma's here. We know what this means. Killing game!
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there doesn't need to be a plot twist at the end being like, and it was Junko all along. Like, they don't need that.
The sad part is, so I messaged Artie. I promise I did not look anything up. I had 2 theories about what was going to happen. Because we know there's a mastermind. It was very clear. I told Artie it is either going to be the main character and he hasn't regained that memory, or it's Tsumugi.
Tsumugi, you mean?
Tsumugi.
Yeah.
But I had it a little bit wrong. I thought it was Tsumugi. I thought it was Junko cosplaying as Tsumugi. But when it was just Tsumugi, was everybody.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I will say, I already said let's start with 1, and we instantly were like, so the ending of the entire series.
Yeah, like I guess like 1 is probably a bad idea. We'll backtrack, but like it seems like we just want to jump right into 3. So I mean, why fight it?
I have not watched the 3rd anime.
You should. It finishes everything off.
Really good.
I know a lot about it. I know it's another killing game.
Partly.
With
partially,
with a lot of past ultimates.
Is it the future arc that you didn't watch, or the despair arc, or did you
didn't-
watch neither of them?
I didn't watch. No, I watched Future and Despair. I have not watched Danganronpa 3.
That's no future. And,
There
That
is
is Danganronpa 3.
Oh,
yeah,
is
that
it?
is. Yeah,
Both of the series together make DR3.
Danganronpa 3.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it has to
Yeah,
explain the
yeah.
events of like before the second one for you to fully explain what's going on in the future arc. So the way that series works, as we were trying to tell you last time, Root, is that you would watch an episode of Future, you'd watch an episode of Despair, and they would interchange because they had things to do with each other and would go hand in hand to keep like the flow of the entire thing going.
I don't
Because
know
they
why
all
didn't
go together.
just release them in one season.
Because
back
it
to
was
back.
it was something that they could. So it was a way for them to do 2 episodes a week, and that's the way you were supposed to watch them, is both of episodes a week.
It also ties in because there's certain characters in the future arc who you don't know anything about, and you're like, oh, I hate this person, and then you're actually seeing like how they became to be that
Yeah,
in the despair arc, which is like the prequel arc.
absolutely.
And it makes me like sympathize with them, and it also helps with pacing too. Because like while the despair arc was kind of slow, the future arc was like killing game.
I-
and, like,
Wacko
I
fast.
do
goes
know,
kinda
like, yeah, because like I know in the anime, like Makoto is supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, but throughout the game he doesn't see up lucky. But throughout the anime, he is incredibly lucky.
Oh no! What do you mean he's not lucky in the game? Are you kidding? The first trial, he escapes death. Like she was gonna pin it on him, and lucky Makoto, he got out of it because
I mean, he lived through an execution.
he also lived through an execution.
Yeah, I suppose
He doesn't
so.
like rely on his luck like Nagito does in the
No,
second game.
Nagito is
Well-
supernaturally lucky.
Yeah.
Makoto is lucky where it counts, and he's always lucky when he's in trouble. Like when the shit hits the fan, Makoto gets lucky. A clue that shouldn't have been left there. He gets out of a situation that he should have died in. Like someone tries to kill him, and whoops, he's alive still. Like he is, and he won to get into Hope's Peak Academy in the first place. Like he is a variation of a lucky student. Like whether you want to believe it or not, he's just not Nagito type lucky.
I do
They're
remember
2 different types of luck.
when Junko tried to kill him in the anime by throwing that knife. I
And
can't
he
remember
moved
exactly. Yeah,
he moved
like,
just in the nick of
ducks.
time.
And she even noticed. She even says like his luck always kicks in when he needs it the most.
Yes, that's exact. Like he's actually lucky. Like Makoto's not unlucky at all. I mean, it's weird because they make fun of him as being the ultimate unlucky student, but he still has those bouts of luck where like he's like, I'm still here, bitch.
Well, they're like
Yeah.
he's the unlucky student because he's in the killing game in the first place.
Yes.
Which, like, sure, you could see like being if you were lucky, you wouldn't be in a single bad situation ever. But he also makes it out of that.
Yeah.
Which
And like
which
he
kind of
also
says
doubles
more.
as the ultimate hope as well. Like just because he became that in the original.
There's so many ultimate hopes. Let's.
I mean, because at the point, like when it's like Star Wars, where there's dark, there's light. So if there's an ultimate despair within the killing game, there's always contradictorily an ultimate hope to combat it. Like it just happens. That's a talent
wasn't
that like you just
Hajime
get.
also an ultimate hope too?
Yes.
He was manufactured though, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So like
Does that
they're
mean
all
he's a
different
robot?
types of ultimate hope.
What?
Does that mean he's a robot?
No,
No.
they opened him up and fucked with his brain.
Yeah, it was like full
What
like
was he
lobotomy and
before?
stuff.
He was nothing. He was a normal person.
Reserve student.
Wasn't he?
He was literally
Azuka?
like an average of average.
Wasn't he Azuka or whatever? Irazuka?
No. He was Hajime originally. He was Izuru, I believe the name was.
Yeah, yeah.
Izuru.
When he changed.
Okay.
Azura was like the founder of Host Peak Academy, I believe, and then Hajime
He was renamed. He was renamed in the honor of the founder.
Yeah, Hajime was just like a reserve corps student who, their like the whole story with that was their parents paid a lot of money so that their kid could go to Hope Peak Academy, even though they were really like just placeholders there.
Yeah.
So Hope Peak could like keep funding up for the actual important students.
Yeah.
And then I forget something happened with Hajime. Like I think he was tired of failing basic, and that's why he signed up for it. And then that's how his whole thing came about. But yeah,
Okay, so I mean, since we're back on DR, like we're actually on the first one now. I want to segment real quick. Who's your favorite character? Who's your least favorite character? What's your favorite trial? What's your favorite execution? Those 4.
Paulo, you can
Okay.
start.
I got this written down. Do I have one for each? Absolutely not. Favorites are Sakura, Asahina, and Celeste because I just really like Celeste.
It's fine.
Favorite execution was probably, I want to say maybe Celeste, because either Celeste or Leon's, because Leon's does a really good job of like setting the tone of executions. And
Okay.
I kind of almost would have preferred if other executions had a followed suit like it.
I think Leon's is absolutely horrifying. I think like to
Yeah,
set
like,
the killing game off, that was a pretty rough kill, like
that's-
right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I feel like a lot of like Danganronpa V3's executions kind of bring that back a little bit, and like just kind of like pure terror and despair in it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, there was some execution, we can talk about them later, but like there was some flops in the series.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Two
I,
had
I-
a lot of flops. Most definitely.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I
Like,
don't.
two was my least favorite.
I
execution.
really think the author hit his stride in horrifying executions in 3 because like I really feel like I know V3 is not my favorite game in the series. I'm a fan of 2, but the author, I feel like 3 is his magnum opus. It is
I was just
just
about to say that.
the greatest fucking
I-
thing that he's ever put out ever, and it shows.
You do know he's
in-
working on a new IP now, right?
Yeah,
With,
yeah, absolutely.
The people who made 9.
Spike Chunsoft or something like that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
game comes out next month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm curious to see what it's like.
Apollo stream.
Probably buy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy it and actually.
I might watch Apollo buy it and like watch the first like little bit of it and then decide
to
if I want to
me,
get it.
I would do that too, because to me, I'm unsure how I'm gonna feel about it because it looks very different.
Yeah,
Like it's like a side scroller game, so I need to see like how much like visual narrative plays into
it'll
it.
probably play a lot like V3's escape route.
Potentially, which
Yeah, I
think
feel like
it's
it might
gonna
be a lot like that.
combination of the escape route from V3 with a lot of visual novel and possibly a lot of
Potentially.
death.
like in the trailer they mention that there's a killing game, but then they also go, "JK, there's actually not. Have fun." So
Well, have you guys played Sally Face?
no, but I've been watching a friend play it.
It's it'll probably be a lot like that, where it's a lot of story, but it's a 2D side scroller. Like in the most sense, like you travel world is 2D, but it's got a story base.
Two demented minds coming together to make a game. It's gonna be fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There's no way that
you bet your ass
go
about
into
it.
this game and it's like rainbows, lollipops, and shit like that. Like, there's no way it's happening.
Yeah,
And then also for the least favorite character, I'd be Byakuya, probably for D1.
I can already tell Apollo and I aren't going to agree on much. Brute, how about you?
Characters are on different
I-
spectrum for us.
Do I just get one, or can I do like 3?
No,
I'd
Apollo.
like do exactly what Apollo did. Like talk
So,
about like
I really
everything.
liked Leon as a character, and I think he could have been a lot more interesting. I think they kind of did him dirty, where I can understand where he's coming from. It was really self-defense, and with that adrenaline going through, you don't really know when to stop. Like, I understand.
He knew when to stop. He had
Kinda.
plenty of time to think when to
Look
stop.
at it this way: if you were in that situation, would you have stopped?
Yes,
Not knowing if
she
that
locked herself
person-
in the door. I would have ran out the fucking door and be like, "This bitch is trying to kill me."
I can like honestly explain away a lot of the executions that happen in future by being like, you can just be honest with people when someone wants to try to kill you.
Yeah.
It would have.
Okay,
Chapter
then
4,
say that
Danganronpa 3. It would save.
Kokichi.
I
If Kokichi had been
Have a
honest,
point about
can-
that I can actually talk about that. We'll
Yeah,
shoehorn
we
that.
can-
Please continue, Brute, because I don't want to get into that right now.
I have
Um,
notes, and specifically the final line of my note is still hate Kokichi.
That's fine.
So we can get to that.
I liked Leon. I think he would have been a really good character going forward. I do think his execution is my favorite in that game. I think
It's
it sets
horrifying.
the tone
Hmm.
very well. And I'm upset that it's followed with a very weak execution.
Potentially one of the weakest. Mondo Butter.
Yeah, that
Mondo's-
was just fucking weird.
For me, it's like between Mondo's and McConn's for like worst execution
Who's
in
McCon?
the series.
The nurse?
Norse.
I
Yeah,
didn't see hers out of
Face.
all of them in 2.
You didn't
Um,
miss much. Don't worry.
she rode a red rocket to the moon and exploded.
Yeah,
That's basically what happened.
I think she orgasmed during it too.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
just for classic like the just like just enough raunch.
I mean, she was a raunchy character.
I mean,
Yeah,
af- after the change, absolutely. Before it was like
I missed
in
that
its
whole
accident.
chapter, which sucks because I didn't get to see her raunchy side.
It's just she's demented. Like she goes
Yeah.
absolutely demented.
It
Well,
follows
she
the
has
same,
like
it follows the
she had
same trend of
Junko's
like
baby.
all the chapter 3 murders where like you find out, oh, this character's actually just that shit. Like they They all just like Celeste Torrens, Makan Torrens, and Kyo Torrens.
Yeah, they're all batshit crazy
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the most batshit crazy? That's a question.
Nagito, are you fucking joking?
Oh, I thought we were
Nagito's
talking about
batshit insane.
I meant out of like the first 3 we just mentioned.
Oh,
Kyo. It's a literal serial killer, I guess.
I mean, like he's kind of predictable though, because he just kills. Like when you go with Nagito, like name me one character in the entire series that is as bonkers and random as Nagito. Go ahead,
Maybe Kokichi. But they're coming from like different points of view.
Well, it's like I would say like no, because Kokichi schemes, Nagito just does things. Like no, Kokichi schemes, and you can follow his scheme. I couldn't follow Nagito's thought pattern at all.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm gonna do this because of this. Okay, dude. All right.
In someone they like kind of like put it all down. So like 3 had Kokichi, 2 had Nagito, and 1 had Byakuya. Since he kind of was the one who was like messing up trials in the first one.
Yeah, I guess
playing
I
the
would say
killing game, I
Kokichi and Byakuya are much more similar, whereas Nagito is a bit extra in the category.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna align things, I think Byakuya and Kokichi go together real well. Nagito kind of fits if he weren't so batshit insane.
Yeah.
I also like Monokuma in the first one. I think he's the best in the first game.
No, I think Monokuma is great in all games, because you know why? How could something so small and with a high-pitched voice strike so much unnerve and fear into someone? Because like every time he's on screen, you become uneasy. Because like, okay, what the fuck's up now? Like, hey, if you kick me, I'm just gonna murder you. Like that first point where someone goes out of bounds and he murders her straight up. Holy shit, dude.
No.
How could a cute character like that Himiko like is like, oh, why are you so cute? Like, just strike so much unease and fear into you as well.
Did not like
Himiko. When he comes up, you know, like shit's going down.
Who didn't you like?
I did not like Himiko as a character.
Oh yeah,
you and Medusa both.
Yeah.
She's just annoying. She's annoying. She's like a brat. She's literally a brat.
But
who one didn't you like?
Yeah, who one did you not like?
If you can remember, it's kind of harder to like remembering the ones you didn't like. So I guess I
didn't like
really
Asahina
like that much.
I have reasons why I didn't like Asahina.
You can go into them if you want.
I think by the end of 4, where she's trying to get, end of the 4th trial, where she's literally trying to get everyone killed, including herself, because everybody's fucking worried during a murder game that, hey, this person was working with the killer, and so now we don't trust her, is completely stupid, and I think everybody's fear at that point is completely reasonable. To fear Sakura.
I think their fear is reasonable, but I also think her reaction was.
I think her reaction is extremely reasonable. They forced her best friend her best friend in the world, even before the killing game. I mean, she doesn't remember that, but even before the killing game, Sakura and Asahina were close friends. They became super close in the game and were there for months for each other. Her best friend committed suicide because of everyone else's reaction to her.
Because they literally just wouldn't listen and talk to her.
They wouldn't even give her the time of day.
They attempted to kill her.
And couldn't because she was the ogre.
Yeah.
So you know what? If everybody wanted her dead that bad, she killed herself. If I were Asahina, I'd be like, yes, all of you pieces of shit should die with her because
like,
you were
Sakura was literally
terrible.
She like actually invited them all and was like, hey, can we all chat so we can like talk this out?
Yes.
And I can explain my reasoning.
Like,
and they all said,
with Apollo saying, let's all be truthful, Sakura tries, and they try to kill her for it, and fail miserably. So much so that the other two thought they killed her.
Yeah.
I kind of had to give it to Asahina, whereas the Gonta thing, I can explain away. The Asahina thing is like, yeah, girl, I understand you. Like, if my best friend murdered themselves because everybody else treated her like shit, all you motherfuckers are dead now. I'm going to try to kill all of you.
And especially, like, sure, there was, like, maybe other ways she could have gone about it. Like, she didn't do as much investigating, but she's not known as, like, the smart character.
Where did she have the time? Where she have the time? Like, it all happens, like, wicked fast.
What, the investigating and shit?
Yeah, she has to set everything up because, like, it happens immediately. So like she's going
like,
through all that grief right
initial
there.
reaction.
Yeah, like it's her raw reaction, and she's had a few hours to mourn, and that's the way she chooses to do it because everybody else was a piece of shit to her friend. Like, you go, Asahina. Like, I completely understand where I don't agree with it because Kyoko and Makoto didn't do anything, or Byakuya technically didn't do anything. Like, but all the rest of them, fuck those fuckers.
Because of that, I think chapter 4 was maybe one of my favorite chapters.
I think it's an understandable situation to be in for the other three. Because you don't know, you're in that room alone with somebody that you know was working with Monokuma. And for all you know, that could have just been a stage between that fight that they saw.
I mean, I'm not saying the reaction is unreasonable. I just think the reaction is shitty.
We're also saying, like, Asahina's reaction is just as reasonable as theirs.
Yeah, like I think like saying that, like I think writing off, I think going with their reactions and writing off Asahina's is just as like ill thought of
because you're
as
about
Asahina's
to get
reaction to
3
theirs.
innocent people who didn't do anything to Sakura killed.
What?
They did do something by not doing anything.
Yeah, they ignored, like they distanced from Sakura instead of trying to listen to her.
Yeah,
like
Who,
all of
Makoto
them,
and
like
all
yeah,
of them.
Makoto and them, all of
Because
them.
Makoto
like,
tried to talk to Sakura.
Yeah, but did he really try? Did he try as hard enough? Like, I'm pretty sure you could basically write him off as like you didn't try nearly as hard.
There's obviously a reason why Sakura only sent that note to the other 3.
Because they were like vehemently against her.
Yes, they were trying to murder
the
her.
The other 3 were like, fuck, I guess.
We're not going to talk to you anymore. Like, that's...
Yeah, like she was trying to make
amends. Hate you. Yeah.
Like, the whole point of Sakura, and sorry, before we go on, I should probably say, like, Sakura is my favorite character in DR1. It's a very Japanese thing to atone for a sin because she felt that she betrayed everyone. So she realized her actions had caused so much of a disturbance in the school that she kills herself to atone for it so that no more killing games have to happen. That's the whole reason why 5 has to take place, is because Sakura's sacrifice actually solidifies the strength in their numbers. Like, her sacrifice should have stopped the killing game altogether if Junko wasn't on her shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible. I hate that it has to happen to a great character, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment.
It's heartbreaking imagining being in her shoes too, and like,
absolutely,
you're trying to reach out, and you're literally just taking hits off people who want you dead.
And they're not strong enough to kill you. They want you dead, but they're not strong enough. You're just too fucking strong.
And you don't she's not trying to fight back. She's not even trying to stop them.
Yeah, at one point I think doesn't she try to help someone out of that locker, and the reaction is to like beat her in the head as hard as they could.
Yeah, because I think she knows that Toko is. I'm pretty sure it's Toko who's in the locker. I think she knows she's in there, but she's covered in blood from someone else who tried killing her.
Yeah,
like smashing something over her head.
Yeah.
So then, like, she opens the locker for Toko, and Toko just sees Sakura covered in blood, and her reaction is to try to kill her.
I mean, I think that's a fair reaction from Toko.
Well, I'm pretty sure Toko also.
Pretty sure a fair reaction would be like, "Oh my God, Sakura, are you okay? You're covered in blood."
Well, to be fair, I think with Toko was she's seen the blood, switched to Genocide Jill, and then Genocide Jill tried to kill Sakura. Yeah. Which that's a bit more not reasonable.
Not reasonable at all, considering the Genocide
Jill wouldn't have known how Sakura got blood all over her.
Also, Genocide Jill only exclusively kills males.
Yeah.
So that is reasonable to think.
She would kill a female if she thought she was
Nope, that's not her profile. She says it very clearly in Trial 2. Her profile is pretty young men. Pretty young men. She actually detests killing women.
Even if it was to save her life?
She would probably, like, she's had a lot of moments in Despair Girls where killing the person would have saved her life, but she's maimed instead. Because pretty young men. So
then why isn't she killed by
serial killer? Because he's like the first one who like makes her want to change or something like that.
So
maybe she would. I don't know.
I mean, like, yeah, the argument could be like it was self-defense, and it was obviously, but she still thought that she killed her, and her reaction was pretty garbage. But then again, she's a pretty garbage character, like personality-wise. Anyway, I'm not saying she's a bad character. She's quite entertaining. But if we're going about like right and wrong, her character is very in the wrong path.
Well, she's a
In-
serial killer, so yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. In Danganronpa 1, she was also one of my least faves. Kind of, I
She-
guess.
isn't it weird that Despair Girls like actually makes you like her a lot more?
No.
I seen someone
Didn't like her.
someone saying that it's kind of crappy that it took an entire spin-off game to make her a likable character.
But
Well,
like,
hey.
but like in the original game, like imagine the only person she like gets like close to is Byakuya, and Byakuya treats her like filth. That's not
Yeah.
a real friendship. It takes Makoto's sister's friendship with her to redeem her character finally.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool for a
So
spin-off.
yeah, it takes a full game to make people like somebody.
Yeah.
Because she actually has
it-
real character growth in it, though.
It also took like she needs to be away from Byakuya.
Yeah.
Like I think that's more so.
Yeah.
And
No,
her
you're
with
absolutely
Byakuya is
right.
not a good character. Her away from him, great character.
Brute, do you want to add anything else to your list, or
I think I have a question.
sure, go ahead.
Do you think you would survive the killing game?
Fuck no! No.
Should we like leave that full question for like afterwards? Because
Yeah,
like very speculation.
I think that's a good closing question. Good job, Brute. You found our closer tonight.
Which I also you the fact you asked that question is why I like the ending of Danganronpa 3, but carry on.
Yeah.
Like it.
So, if I may, my list. I already said Sakura's my favorite. My least favorite would probably have to be first girl, like first victim. I don't remember her name. Yeah.
Sayaka.
Fuck her
Yeah.
so much, dude.
She's a
Fuck her
genius.
so much.
She's a genius. She's
She's awful. She's absolutely that manipulative archetype that like uses people,
so is Celeste.
including boys, to do like Celeste is a lot smarter than her. A lot
Look
smarter.
at it this way. So
Her
Celeste
trial
is
was
the
really
ultimate
complex.
gambler.
all right,
Yeah.
let's compare Sayaka and Celeste's
Sayaka.
manipulation tactics. Okay? Because they both manipulated guys to do their bidding.
Sure.
Celeste sold alter ego and told both guys that the other one had it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And then used what was the nerd's name?
Hifumi.
Hifumi, yeah.
Hifumi to kill
Also, all parent list for least favorite characters, but yeah,
to kill fuck dude. I can't remember. Taka, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Taka's probably
forget
also
his
my least
names.
favorite. Taka's just so boring.
Mm,
He's one of those characters that are just kind of like, yeah, he's there.
yeah,
He does
he's
things.
present.
But then
Like I think
Really,
so
also
now
he's
let's
also one of those
end-
characters where like gets some slight development or like a change happens and then he's dead before you know what the change was about. But yeah,
So yeah, she
Yeah.
manipulated those two,
Mm.
had Hifumi kill Taka, and then killed Hifumi. Don't know why she really killed Hifumi. I think it would have been
Because
great.
that
make
was
it more confusing. It made the murder impossible.
she killed Hifumi that he's also in on the entire thing. How do you keep a closed knit mystery? You murder the witness.
No,
Like, she was always going to kill Hifumi because Hifumi knew what was going on. He knew that Celeste did these things.
Hifumi killed Taka, not Celeste.
Yeah,
The better
No, like,
idea
she-
would have been to keep Hifumi alive, rat him out during the trial, and then get rid of the competition member.
no, because she wanted to create a like impossible to solve murder, which she had because they had this mystery between Hifumi and Taka were both locked in a room or something like that. Or Hifumi was locked in a room by himself and they discovered his body and they were like, who could have gotten into this locked room when it only locks from the inside? And like Hifumi's body was there. And then they eventually go out and find Taka. And then while Hifumi's downstairs, he's dead. Like it's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And she needs to make it as complex as possible to trick them.
What
like,
And she
happens
made
is-
it. She made a fairly
you-
complex murder.
You
as well.
said that wrong. What happens is that Hifumi pretends to be dead in the nurse's room while Taka is dead upstairs. The timing, it's all about timing in this
She
situation.
was also locked in the art. It's like
That's
an art
later.
room too, in the back of the art room.
That's when he dies. He gets locked in there. At first, he's pretending to be dead in the nurse's room. It's all about timing because the three of them discover the body upstairs,
and they
as
also had
they discover the body downstairs. So
they
it
also
all
had
seems
like a there's like sightings of a murder mystery cartoon character or something like that,
Yeah.
poking people on the
and
head.
then
And I also think she staged Hero up, the ultimate psychic,
yes,
to be the killer too. So she had it all really thought out.
She
I
almost
think-
did it if Hifumi hadn't fucked up on a couple parts.
Well,
Mm.
she fucked up by saying we're going to die like the both of them
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
when Celeste shouldn't have known that Taka was dead.
Yeah, no, like she did slip up.
Mhm.
Like she proved that she knew too much. But like the difference is she already like she took easily manipulable people.
Yeah.
But like Sayaka got close and used her relationship with Makoto.
And that's genius.
It's not.
It is a genius move.
It would be if she weren't so fucking dumb in the fact that her murder didn't work
I don't know how she fucked that up.
because
Couldn't kill him.
she
was not
couldn't-
strong enough.
she didn't think about like the fact that Leon is a pro athlete and that
Mhm.
she didn't really have the resolve. So like her plan to actually using Makoto was the smartest part of her plan.
Oh yeah,
The
definitely.
fact that she didn't actually think out a good way to kill
The
Leon
murder. Yeah.
was what ruins her entire thing. You know?
Yeah, Leon was definitely quick on his feet too.
Like you can't call her a genius and she gets herself killed. You can't
I think
I won't let you do that.
her whole setup is genius. To be like, I'm scared. Can we switch
I would
routes for the
say-
night?
I would say it's smart. It was smart. It's not genius.
And then switch
But
the
then,
name
like-
tags.
But then at the end, wouldn't you think like, yeah, Makoto could have she like really just relied on Makoto not ratting her out.
Yeah.
Like
She was taking
Look at it this way.
Makoto's
Would they have-
character and like running with it.
Would they have believed Makoto or her?
She was counting on them not believing Makoto.
Yeah.
And
or
since
even
Makoto-
Makoto not wanting to sentence her to death.
But the problem is, even if she had gotten through with it, I fully believe she still would have failed because of Kyoko. No one knew who Kyoko was or what her ultimate talent was. Kyoko would have figured it out even if she would have succeeded.
Just it kind of feels like that trial, like had that trial like ended with Leon dying rather than Sayaka, it maybe would have played out like how the first trial in Danganronpa 3 had of with like maybe like I think Sayaka at some point during trial might have felt guilt if they were going to like kill off the wrong people. Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? I doubt it,
think
but
Sayaka had no care of the others.
I really don't think so. I think she was just like that bitch. So
I think there was some care somewhere. She was just very desperate and like
Well,
fame hungry.
no, I think like in the idol
selfish.
world, since she was an idol in the idol world, like it says that like she has to like cutthroat like this. So this was just
Yeah, it's like
basically
literally a killer
her
being
going
killed.
through. Yeah, this is her just going through the motions of like the world that she's used to, being the ultimate
Yes.
idol. So she
But-
doesn't
yeah.
care about them. They're not. It's all about her because that's the kind of life she lives.
Hmm.
So is Sayaka a good character? Is a good person? No. Is she a good character? Nah. She's fodder just like Leon is, in my opinion. That's why I dislike her most.
and I
My
think
second, if I had to pick one, if I ignored the fodder of the first game, I would pick Mondo next. You know, looking at you, Zaddy.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I really don't like that person. Like Mondo is such a piece of shit.
I would have
and he-
preferred if Mondo was the fodder over Leon, because I think Leon could have been a very good character.
You need the building to make Mondo's like betrayal that
Yeah.
much more important though. Like
I
you
don't think
need some
Leon
time.
had. I don't.
Leon
think
was a very
Leon
unique
had the
character
story.
because he was the only character in that game that was not Japanese.
Well, sure, yeah, but he was also a foul mouth. You know, also a piece of shit too.
Hmm.
Like he wasn't
you
a nice
think-
person
Do
at
you
all.
think he would have?
I still think he would have become a murderer even if Sayaka
It's very
hadn't.
possible.
Oh yeah,
He was
absolutely,
there with him.
absolutely. Like it shows in the first trial that he has it in him all along because he
Yeah.
literally he switches gears and goes straight to murdering her.
At the first, like basically chance, he does murder someone.
Oh,
Like, he takes his
and-
chance.
Like the first, and he doesn't even think about it. He thinks he's gonna get away with it. So I mean,
Yeah.
and like his plan is like the most half baked out of anyone in the entire series.
Well, it's on the spot.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
considering that
I
like
know.
Sayaka literally writes his name on the wall.
I think he walked away by then and didn't see it.
Oh yeah, like he didn't actually kill her yet either. Like he left her there to die. He's just shitty all around at this whole thing. So, so favorite trial. I like Sakura's trial the most. So, and my
It's, like,
least favorite
most
trial,
intense and most emotional too.
and my least favorite trial would be the first one because like it's just it's like I said half baked.
Wait, you said it's your
I mean,
favorite and
they-
least favorite at the same time.
No, the Sakura's trial is my favorite one. The least favorite is the first one, and I also think the
Oh.
killing game. I think for executions, I gotta give it to the first one. I have to.
Beyond
It sets the tone for the
Yeah.
whole series, and
It
it's
sets the tone for
horrifying.
the whole series as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely, it
Yeah.
does.
That's why
Like,
I kind of wish more
If it
executions
wouldn't
had like
have been
followed that.
strong like that, it would have probably ruined the game.
Oh yeah,
Like he's
Yeah.
just tied up getting pelted by like 100
With
miles
his
an
talent.
hour baseballs.
With his talent that he apparently doesn't even really like.
Yeah, he doesn't even like baseball.
Yeah.
He's
So
just
that's
really
like I
good
like
at it.
when I can talk about more when we get into V3, but I do like when like they really play up like the despair-inducing factors of an execution.
yeah.
So like with Celeste, they kind of like gave her this almost perfect execution, like what she would want. This like
Yeah.
lavish lifestyle, being born at the stake. She has a crowd, even if they hate her. There's a cast, like it's literally
Yeah.
what she wants, and she dies almost happy until she gets taken out by a car, which is like the most common death you could have.
Yeah, they really. I agree with Apollo. Like Apollo, like V3 literally like sinks in the no, you're not gonna like this at all type thing.
Yeah, like
And I think that's beautiful too, because I think the reason that changes is because it's what the world wants. They don't want the Blackened to have a happy ending. Junko has a funny way of giving you what you want while also like, taking you out of the game. Like that was a very Junko thing to do. Like just tease you with what you wanted in life or like what you were good at and like kill you with it. So you didn't die like with full despair.
I think that's why technically in the Force game, I really only see it as there being like 3 executions in the Force game. Because Alter Egos is an execution, but
Wait. There is technically 4 executions if you do bad end though.
because
I never saw Kirigiri's
Yeah, because
execution.
it's the
Kirigiri,
same execution as Makoto's though, isn't it?
yeah, but it actually works though.
Yeah,
Like it
So,
actually
but
kills her. Like legit kills her.
it's true, but does it really play into her talent at all?
No,
It
because
was like a generic execution.
because it was very rushed. Like it's supposed
Yeah.
to be that way because it was a rushed thing because
that's why it's, like,
the
very
like it was on. She was trying to continue the killing game, so she threw
Mhm.
things together very haphazardly.
Yeah, so I guess like it's not fair
It
to
was
say
a
it wasn't
fake
before,
trial.
but yeah.
That
Yes,
shouldn't
it
have
wasn't.
happened.
It's not a fake trial. It's a fucked with trial because technically the real Blackened does pay for the crime.
Junko was the one who
It's
killed.
within
sister.
rules. It's a student that makes the kill. It's a student that's labeled as Blackened. It is a real trial. It's a severely fucked with one.
But yeah, like there's just no sense of like with the second with Mondo's execution, there's no
He's on a bike. That's
Like-
Mondo.
he's on a bike, so it's like, oh, ultimate biker. There's no like they could have had some tie-ins with his brother. There could have been some like
Oh well, technically
like,
they
not
do make
feeling
him
like a-
soft in the end.
yeah, I guess.
Soft served margarine. Woohoo!
That's
I don't really
About
understand
all.
the butter thing.
Like he's a tough man. So how do you break a tough man? You literally beat him until he's soft into butter.
or not even beat. Like vaporize.
Yeah, vaporize him, turn him into soup, and then turn that soup into butter that's soft,
Yeah, I guess.
and then eat it on a piece of bread.
it was
a weird
just very weird.
It's weird. It's
I
fucking
think
weird.
it's
I agree.
the weakest execution in the series.
Not series.
I would maybe say series, especially because if Root hasn't seen Macan's, yeah.
There's a couple. There's a
Who would
couple.
you-
There's a
I
couple.
thought
wait.
all the executions in 3 were perfect. Like they
I
showed
didn't like
despair.
them.
I agree.
They
There
showed
was one that
despair.
I didn't like.
What?
Well, we
Kyo's
know
one
why
I
you didn't
didn't
like
like.
Dantas.
No, it's not even that. Like I just genuinely didn't like it as an execution.
Okay,
Like I can
that's
get
fair,
back into
that's
it when
fair.
we reach it, but like
Didn't you also say that
still, like,
Kyo's was also a bit weird for you too?
It's a perfect
yeah, but
depiction of
I've
despair.
torn around on Chaos. Chaos was the weird one, but like I've grown on it. But you know,
Okay,
with Gaunt,
alright.
like even though Gaunt was my least favorite of that game, it still like ranks above Macan's and
You
uh,
lost your wand.
Mondo.
Here, you can
I know.
have the spare. Here.
oh wait, it's purple. I do have a purple one.
Oh yeah, oops. It's
Por-
my wife's pen that she let me borrow. It just kind of like sits on my desk now. So,
Artie's
I have a
married,
blue
by the
one.
way.
huh?
Artie's married, by the way. With
Oh,
a lot
yeah,
of, with
I
a lot
mean,
of babies.
They notice, so they see
Hey,
my
Mark.
hand. So
I'm pretty sure that came up when we were talking about It Takes Two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Well, we never
I'm,
really.
I'm a
talked
married
about
man of
that,
3 children,
To be
so
honest, that's never going to be out in the world.
well.
Oh.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
that whole
Oh.
thing also did that too. Shit. Well, we had the conversation.
There was a different conversation.
Right, but we didn't have like the definitive one where we like
Yeah,
really put the
actually
nail.
knew the game.
It's fine. It's fine.
But
Anyway,
anyways,
moving on. I think
do you-
we should maybe
Do you
move
think
on to the next
anime
game.
does the
Yeah.
first game justice?
I didn't watch that anime.
You didn't watch the first one? I loved it.
No, because I played the game. So I feel like I
It's
just
still
need to.
good because there's a few things in there that aren't in the anime. I mean, in the game.
I figured, but like.
So you're
no,
saying
sure.
it's filler then?
No. No. The game has everything. Everything that's in the game is in the anime.
No. No.
People's free time events. People like
No.
there's
No,
so
obviously
much
not.
No.
investigations. Like
No.
they're not gonna be there.
No. No.
You could probably say most things that are in the anime are in the game.
Brew, you say some wrong things sometimes, but that's
Have
very
you
ass
watched the anime?
backwards. Yes.
Everything that's important is in
Nope.
the anime. What's
No-
not?
No,
Tell me.
that's not true because that
That's
depends
not
on
what
what
you
you mean as
said.
important. It is a very okay. Before I start bashing this, I don't dislike the anime because it's a necessary evil. I think the anime exists to popularize the game series so that more people play the game. It's a very good entry point for people who don't want to just jump into something that they might not be sure they like. But with that, Apollo's right. One of the biggest things that aren't in there are free time events where you have character building. For instance, Apollo doesn't like Byakuya because he doesn't understand Byakuya. I did Byakuya's free time events all the way through.
I
He's
will say that.
he's lived a very fucked up life. And the reason he is the asshole that he is because he's lived with like a hierarchy, like oligarchy lineage of family members that he literally had to, one, literally kill, or two, bring into submission before they did the same to him.
Yeah.
He lives in his own survival game. Byakuya is bred for a survival game. Like he's lived one all his life. That's why he's such an absolute dick. Second, you don't get the tiny details that make those trials incredible. Like for instance, you don't get all the time with Mondo around to make his trial make sense. You don't get enough time with Sakura to understand why she's a big character. You don't get much time with Celeste or the shit she does with Hifumi to understand why they like. Yes, for gist, it gets the story bits. Sure.
Because it has to.
They changed the cast, which that's a Funimation thing that I'm very upset about because I'm very True Blue English cast from the original games, and I don't
Wait, no,
think
they had the
you
original
can appreciate.
voice acting cast.
Nope.
Did
No.
you watch the English or Japanese?
English.
Oh no, I watched Japanese.
Yeah, Funimation ripped they brought Papenbrook back, which was Makoto and Nagito. But they basically recast everyone else for Funimation House.
Well, sometimes the voice actors don't want to join,
Nope,
or they don't have time.
that's not the case at all. The original voice actors loved those roles and weren't even given the chance to audition for them.
Are you sure this is like 100%?
You can literally look it up. You can go to Google and search it.
Funimation is like their own special thing. Like they have voice actors hired.
Byakuya and Kyoko's voice actors, I believe, were also very vocal about it.
I'm pretty sure Funimation... Was it Funimation? Yeah, it was Funimation brought the entire Persona cast back for the anime English dub.
Yeah, they did then probably because of the backlash of, say, like, Danganronpa that they fucked up. Monokuma's not even the same in the animation, dude. Like, Monokuma's not even voiced the same way. And I believe... So go ahead.
I'm glad that with the animation they didn't like go along the line of like, okay, here's the anime for like the second game. Here's the tour, like just like following up. I'm glad that they made it like its own separate thing that helps kind of flesh out.
They were planning on doing the animation. They were planning to do the animation for the second one, but the author's like, I have no idea how I can make this into an animation and do the things I did in the second game.
That is fair. Yeah.
Because like
there's
those tidbit clues where they're in virtual reality where like he wasn't sure how to translate them well. Like when virtual reality starts to go fucky, it'd be a hard translation, and you would have to sell that to a studio without them kind of like fucking around.
There is reasoning why they couldn't do the same voice actors.
Why?
So the game and the anime were being recorded at the same time, and it would have over budgeted them to have them both going back.
You know what that is? That's lip service because Funimation doesn't want to be like, yeah, we fucked up. They could have waited. They could have fucking waited, bro. They could have.
They didn't. They
It's-
can't wait. They couldn't
It's
have waited.
lip
They were being
service jerking
pushed.
you around.
They were
Sorry,
being
I love Funimation. I love
No,
Funimation.
Wait.
but they were being
let me
dicks.
finish. Funimation was being pushed to finish it.
Really?
Yes. By the higher ups, and so they had
At
to push
Funimation?
it out. No, it's Funimation that's making it, but they're not the ones who are like doing all the higher up stuff. Like they had to get the rights to make that show, and now they're being pushed to make it. They wanted to add the original cast, but they had gone over budget, having voice acting the game and the anime at the same time. Does that make sense?
I mean, I still think it's lip service.
Like
Like, look at it this way. When DR3 came around, they tried to get everyone back. The only voice actors were replaced were Peko, Fuyuhiko, and Ibuki, and Gundam.
That's for the sec.
Yeah,
That's for
that's the spare.
three. That's not
Yeah.
the.
For the
Did they
spare,
bring back?
the
Did
spare.
they bring back original Monokuma in the third one? Because I never watched the Funimation dub of the third one because I
Yeah,
absolutely
they brought
hated
back
what they did with the first
everyone
one.
except
So Monokuma
for,
was the original voice and not
Yeah,
the one they made for the first
because
for the
they
first one.
did the anime after that game.
All
so
right,
they were
that's
able
fair.
to.
But like I said, I was along the ride the entire time. I remember the two voice actors like
Yeah.
vocalizing like, "This is unfair." Those were the characters I played. Like I was like that character was loved. Byakuya being one of them. Like it was a very like. That's why I have beef with the animation for the English side of things because like I don't think that's fair.
And that's
Like-
why they brought them back for the anime for Future in Despair. 'Cause
They
were like,
and damn right they should have. They made good on it, sure, but at the same time, I had a very
which
big problem with
I do
Funimation at the
believe
time.
is more popular than the first one, so that's good.
What V3?
Yeah.
Sorry,
The
Danganronpa 3?
Yeah, the
it's-
the Despair and Future got
I mean, of
more,
course it was because
got
it's
more
the
publicity.
conclusion of everything. I mean,
it got more publicity and more viewership than the first one.
Because I mean, I don't personally see why you would, unless you don't want to play the games. I don't really see why you would pick the anime over the game.
I mean, I can understand not
That's like a
wanting to
timing
spend
thing.
$40 on a game that you don't know you're gonna like.
I mean, like that true, but
did you say $140?
No, $40.
think it's
Look at it this
40.
way. Look at it this way. I like the idea of I like the whole idea, but I don't think I could play the game.
It's fine.
I think I already like get really exhausted reading, just in general, and so to watch it, it's just so much easier.
That's fair.
very cute.
But at the same time, like at this day and age, you can literally watch someone play the game too.
Or look at it this way, like
we
with
did.
Persona, just verging a little bit. Persona's 150 fucking hours. The anime takes like 6 to 8 hours. And to be honest,
Yeah.
the anime covers a lot very well.
Yeah, I think they do what they can with it with what they have. That makes sense.
Like you
Like
definitely
I said,
go
I
into the
don't
main
have
cast
I
and
don't have a
story.
problem with the actual animation. Like I said, my beef was specifically with Funimation when
The
it
voice.
happened when it went down.
Mm.
I did say the animation is inferior because it has to be. It's not gonna like they can't
Whatever
put
the
together.
realistically, like whatever the shorter piece of media is generally speaking gonna be the
Yeah,
It's usually
less
the
than
anime.
one.
it's just like it's gonna be inferior because it has to be. I don't hate it for it. I'm just like if you want the full experience, play the game.
Yeah.
Because like that just the relation times with certain characters can really make you appreciate things.
Well, the games are also
lot.
pretty long too.
Also true.
No.
Like at least
But
60 hours a piece, I believe.
And then if you want to get all of the story stuff, it
longer.
could also take a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Apollo's trying to get the
Probably.
plat in 3, and he was like, "Man, this might take a while."
I mean, they were all technically gonna take a while, but at the
Compared to
same
1
time-
and 2, the plat's a lot easier. The plat's a lot easier in
Harder.
1 and 2.
Oh, technically.
That's
Have
when
fun
achievements were
grinding,
being
like over 1 million coins.
I mean,
Jesus.
He has to buy all those gifts, and some of them are like 1 million coins.
no,
wow.
Or
a
100
million.
it was like-
No,
There was like 5 zeros,
yeah, it was like
maybe 6.
10,000, maybe 100,000 or something there. But
One of them
also
definitely.
one mono coin translates to 10 casino coins.
And you need 100,000 casino coins.
10,000. That's like literally just do 10 trials, which I can speed through a top trial in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's grinding, sure, but it's
Did you ever figure out any of the lying arcs, like the lie routes in
I've-
3?
gone through one so far.
The
Yeah.
lie routes.
Yeah,
Well, because in 3 they do this new mechanic
the
where
alternate
you
version.
can you can do an alternate route by lying or inferring a piece of information, which is
Mhm.
basically a lie, and it changes like the entire rhythm of a trial.
Is this in the main story?
Yeah, Yeah,
So
you can
wait,
do
wait,
it. For the main
It's
story,
put it
for
this
just,
way.
just
fun.
really hard.
for like general reference, let's say Trial 2 with
I mean, I've done trial 1, so
Kirun.
like,
All right, it was Trial 1 where
Yeah.
you're playing as as a
Shuichi,
Kaede,
Kaede.
Suichi, whatever. You can change the whole way everybody like the dialogue by lying one time.
Yes, it has its
Mostly.
it has like its own
It
differences,
mostly-
but it kind of it still like spearheads you toward the answer. You know?
It mostly changes like the immediates afterwards. So like there was one, the one in trial 1 was as Shuichi and Kaede. Like it's after Shuichi takes the mantle as the main character, and you're fighting against Kaede. And I think you lie and say, no, the air vent was closed, so she couldn't have done that murder. That's all. But like then she's like, no, that's not what happened. And then there was like a kind of like beef between them for a second, and she was like, oh, you're misremembering it. It was closed, but then I opened it, or it was open, but then I closed it again while we were investigating before you seeing. So
But then-
just like
But if
It
you
basically
don't
like the
lie-
mechanic just basically skips a lot of like a chunk of the trial because you like jump to like a point in the trial that normally it would have taken you a while to ring around. So
yeah.
I see.
It was
And
kind of
each
fun.
trial
I
has
did
like that
see-
little point where you can like kind of
yeah, like apparently some of the trials, I think a couple of the trials have multiple lies actually.
I know chapter 2 had multiple lies.
So there's areas where the game wants you to lie. Can you not lie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Apollo did that the entire game with not lying. Besides when they showed him the mechanic in 1.
No, I lied in a couple
He
of
lied
trials.
a few times.
Did you?
There was at least one lie you have to do in every trial, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe
Wow.
you just didn't click the right truth bullets.
I
Maybe.
mean, maybe they also made it fairly clear, like when like it got back around to talking to Juichi, like after everyone said their piece, he was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna have to lie to get through this." Like they never made it unclear that you had to lie.
Right.
Should we go talk about favorites from 2 first before like delving too deep into 3?
Everybody already knows who
absolutely.
my 2 favorite character is. Come on.
Chiaki.
Yeah, I love Chiaki. She's.
I mean that counters
from-
like
from
favorite
the
character,
anime-
trial, execution.
From the anime to the game adaptation, from trial to execution, it's just she's such a good character. She's so energetically lazy, and it's like just like me. She's like the female version of me, literally.
I mean,
From,
that's
like,
a
start
good
to
reason to
finish.
like a character is if like you just resonate with them.
She's the ultimate gamer, which is like the best ultimate I have seen.
Dude, she'd whoop your ass in the game.
And her execution is so fucking awesome.
Her execution's one
Oh,
of the best, definitely.
her execution's rough.
God. Oh, it's
Her
rough,
execution's
but it's
real
just-
rough.
It is like a gamer's paradise of an execution.
Yeah, but it's rough.
Paradise.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I kind of like that her execution in 2 kind of like mimics the one that you see happen in Despair Arc too.
Yeah, Architect has 2.
Yeah, because like
I thought she
she
gets
has to
beat
go.
to
She has to
death.
live through that twice.
The one in the anime, well, I thought it was more.
She gets beat
Cause,
in
like-
the second in the anime, right? Or am I remembering wrong?
She
remember-
goes.
I
She
remember
goes to the
she-
maze just like last time, except like you get to watch her get maimed and like basically die a slow, horrible death in that maze.
While is
Yeah.
Azuki, whatever the fuck his name is, she's like
Izuru
talking,
at the time.
yeah, she's talking to Azuru, and he's like, "Why do you keep trying?" and blah blah blah, and she's like, "It's because I can't," and shit. While everybody's watching her die,
I think I remember something like that. I just don't remember how they would have been chatting.
he was standing
She's
over her.
barely alive. She's
he-
barely alive, and he's standing over her like dying
Oh,
body.
yeah.
And he obviously cares that she's dying, but he doesn't understand why she's doing all
Right.
this.
It was like the Hajime side. Like there was because the brain.
Yeah,
broke.
Hajime like had like the bond was still there, and Izuru didn't understand that because he doesn't understand that he's Hajime.
Yeah.
Because like Izuru doesn't remember that he's Hajime, just like Hajime doesn't remember that he's Izuru. Like they like the whole point of the ending of 2 is that they come together at the very end and like understand what like, and that's when they fuse. And Hajime does take back over, but Izuru is a part of Hajime then.
Yeah, which makes him the ultimate hope.
Yeah. So Brute, who's your least favorite character?
I can tell you what my least favorite in 3 is when we get there. Definitely.
Okay. All right.
You already have, but yeah.
My least favorite in 2. I don't like Hiyoko that much. I don't like just snot-nosed characters that have no like any usefulness.
I think in the entire series, Mahiru might have been the most throwaway character. The ultimate, I don't know. Maybe I don't even think she's my least favorite because
The
I literally
ultimate,
have
like,
so
what,
little
traditional
opinion of
dancer,
her.
right?
What?
That's
He-
Hiyoko.
Yeah, I don't like her. She's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
so fucking annoying.
Are you
I'm
talking about the
talking
ultimate
about-
dancer?
Actually, you know
She
what?
is.
I
I'm
like
talking about
her
the
fucking
ultimate photographer.
snarky insults though. I don't know. I think 2 might be my favorite cast of characters wise. I like Gun.
I would agree with
Gundam.
that.
I love
I think
Gundam.
I love Two's cast of characters so much. Like they're just good characters.
I like
Until you realize.
Nagito's insaneness. I think out of all of them, maybe the rocker, the photographer, or the fucking my body is a shield bitch. I can't remember. Pico.
Ibuki, Pico, and Mahiru.
I thought
Mihira.
Pico was just kind of boring.
I
Her voice acting was so lame. Just so dull and monotoned.
I can relate to the dull monotone vibe, so I wasn't hating her for that. Mahiru for me was so basic.
Who?
I think she was Mahiru, the ultimate photographer.
Isn't she the
And-
one
and
that
she-
killed Pico's sister?
No, her
Or-
friend did, but her friend died. Even though in the anime it's kind of like it's assumed that Pico was the one who killed the sister, I think, but in the anime it's kind of like
Didn't photographer
like-
was the victim in the second one? In the
Yes.
second trial?
victim, yes.
Yes.
Because Pico killed her after Fuyuhiko
Ordered her to.
found out about it.
No,
No,
Fuyuhiko, like everybody thinks Fuyuhiko ordered it. He had
Oh,
no
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, he didn't. He
Yeah.
just wanted to talk to her, right?
he just wanted to confront her and like ask like, "Hey, what's going on with this?" I think.
And Pico just
was
like took it as then, okay, I'm gonna fucking murder her.
Yeah, but also she tried like kind of wanted us to vote for him. I think.
Yeah, 'cause
No, she wanted us to vote for. No way, she wanted it to actually like Monokuma to believe that Fuyuhiko was the killer, and then
Right.
she wanted them to vote for her.
Right, because she
Yeah.
wanted Fuyuhiko to get out, and Monokuma was like,
Mm.
nah, that's not how this fucking works. You murdered
Well,
him.
Monokuma was like, "I might be how it works. Let's see how it plays out." And then at the end, he was like, "Haha, JK."
Well, that's when you find out that like that's when you have to remember that Monokuma changes like Ben's rules, and like the
Oh, yeah, very
blackened
quickly.
is kind of like very flexible depending on how it works. Because
How Monokuma wants it to go.
so
He
to take it back to
literally-
DR1, the fact that Celeste is the blackened, but Hifumi kills Taka, it's fluid. Because the real blackened is the person that made the scheme.
No.
Only if like they take
real-
if they take
The real Blacken is who kills first.
Nope, that's
that's
in
not true.
number 3. That's how it works.
Yes, because three solid like 2 amended the rules where like something like Celeste can't happen anymore. So like the first kill ends up
No,
like
because in 1 he says there can't be 2 Blacken.
Yeah, because there
Yeah.
can't be.
that's
Yeah,
why
so
that's why
If it
that's why I
would've
was saying
happened,
like
he probably would have said who did it first.
yeah.
But
So,
the
like,
person who did it first wasn't alive.
And in 2 they amend the rule where like only 2 people can be killed, so like you can't go on a killing spree.
Yeah,
So
I think that's a
'Cause,
rule
like-
in 1 too, where only 2 bodies can be killed.
I
During
think
trial.
so as well.
They never say that in
Yeah.
3 though.
Unless it
No.
was like just in the general rules, but it's never like specifically mentioned.
Right, and like
Yeah.
like I said, like if
I think though it would probably still be a rule in 3 because it's seen as a TV show and it would have gotten bad views.
To be fair,
everyone
there's
died
a
at
chance
once.
that in 3 they didn't need to make it a rule because they're all following a plot, technically speaking.
right, and
So-
like they have a bit more
Maybe.
control over the characters as you find
My
out.
question
Hmm.
is,
A bit.
were the victims and executioners, the people that got executioned, already written out?
What do you mean?
So did they decide?
Potentially, I will say there's kind of more going on to 3. There is a line between Sumugi to Gonta when Gonta's talking about something, and Sumugi is like, "Oh, wouldn't you want to be like a giant bug with like knives for hands?" And this is like in like the first trial, she mentions it, and like obviously she is fully aware that that is how Gonta's execution is going to go.
Yes,
So
you really feel like it's very scripted in 3 after you figure out
Hmm.
everything. But anyway, back to 2.
yeah.
So what is your favorite trial in 2, Brute?
I feel like we're all gonna have the same.
I
favorite
think
trial.
Gundam's really good.
Okay.
I think
Maybe not.
the whole Gundam obviously was trying to get away with it, but he also
Yeah.
did it to get everyone free if he lost. because he knew they were all going to starve.
It was a very mutual respect thing between Gonta and Nekomaru. Like, I will give you that. It was like when they locked eyes, they both knew like it was a challenge to each other.
Yeah,
Because like Nekomaru was going to do the same damn thing.
It
Like
was more
they
of a,
just looked at each other and knew, okay, we're alone. We know the situation. This has to happen, and they both like fought.
yeah.
It was like
They knew one of them had to die, not just
Yes.
because they needed, not
they wanted
just
to get out
they
because
wanted
needed
to get everyone out. It
Yeah.
was a
It was-
self-sacrifice situation.
It was a bit of both because like if no one killed, everyone dies.
Yeah.
But like if someone kills, sure that person at least that person has a chance to get out, but then also everyone can get out even if they don't. And both of them kind of recognize that.
I agree with that. I think like dying with dignity was better in their minds than dying like because of
starvation.
And everybody even still respected Gunda.
Yeah.
At the end of that trial, they were
he's one of the only killers that I'm all right with. Like there are 2 killers that I'm okay with, and Gundam makes that list.
I'm guessing Kaido's the other one.
No.
Oh.
No.
Gunta?
Kaede wasn't actually a kill, now that you know it. Kaede was framed.
No, I said Kaido.
Oh, Kaido. Which one was Kaido? Refresh my mind.
Kokichi's.
Kokichi.
Kokichi's killer.
Oh, that's... Oh,
Killer.
God, I'm not... I don't
You're
even...
not counting that.
Yeah, I guess there's 3 then, because I was talking about Chiaki, Gundam, and yeah, I guess Kaido.
I wasn't counting Chiaki as well.
Chiaki's was like...
To me, Chiaki's and like Kaido.
You want to talk about genius? Talk about utilizing your ultimate talent in the literal best way of your ability. Nagito might be batshit insane, but he's fucking crazy.
I think he's the only one who actively utilized his ultimate ability.
Not even that,
the entire series.
Wait,
other than maybe like Shuichi.
What are you talking about?
He solves the puzzle in the same exact way. Like, he's insane, but he knows his ultimate ability perfectly, and he uses it in genius ways to get him places.
No.
Don't they say that, like, during Chiaki's trial, they say, like, we've done this several times?
What do you mean?
Hasn't they reran the simulation over and over? I'm almost certain during that trial they say, like, you'll get it this time. I
have to like literally see what you're talking about, but
I'm almost certain, like, during Nagito's death trial, they mention, like, that they've gone through the simulation multiple times. Because I'm pretty sure there's another scene too where they're like, we'll just restart again.
I don't remember any of this, and at that point you're not even aware it's a simulation.
Yeah, so
which makes me not believe that too much.
I'm almost certain they mentioned that they've done this before.
Because who's mentioning it though?
It's either Chiaki or Junko during either the 4th or 5th trial.
Junko's not there.
Junko's not there. Chiaki is adamantly trying to hide her identity. Yeah, that's the whole reason why Nagito kills himself, kind of.
But then maybe Chiaki did say something right before being executed to try to like quell their fears along that line. I don't think it was like we've done this.
I'm almost certain, like she mentions like we've done this before or something, and then like Junko solidifies that by going like we could just do it again.
Junko and Chiaki are never in the same trial.
I'm talking about in the next trial. Junko solidifies that. Junko is in the 5th trial.
No,
she's in the 6th trial.
Or
5th trial is Nagito.
6th trial is literally just there's no killer.
Chiaki.
Yeah.
6th trial, Junko solidifies that by basically saying, I can restart the simulation with everyone alive.
She wants to restart the simulation to keep everyone happy. They're going to keep...
Which is why I'm going back to saying I'm almost certain they've done this multiple times because Chiaki says.
I'd have to see the information because I don't think I understand that you might be a bit confused as I am at the moment because
I'm pretty sure they've done it multiple times.
I'm pretty sure that because that wouldn't make sense with the virus then. Why did the virus kick in the first time?
They also didn't care about the students that much and wanted to kill them.
I mean, the Future Foundation, half the Future Foundation didn't, but Makoto, Byakuya, and Kyoko were like, no, we should get... Like, we know Junko. We know it's not really their fault.
Recognize it right away.
So, I don't know.
Trying to hide it and stuff.
So, what was your favorite execution too, Brute?
I just said Chiaki's.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite execution. It's just amazing.
I
One of
remember
the
you
best.
mentioned it. I just I didn't realize you segued into it on accident. But
Chiaki's my favorite character, favorite execution. They just do her really well.
Yeah.
And they
That's
do her
fair.
dirty in the anime.
no, I think they do. Or I think it's the appropriate amount of
Yeah,
awful to Chiaki.
It's awful, and it's like she's trying to
has to
save
be.
her friends.
It
Yeah,
has to
Because
be
she's almost like an ultimate hope to
kind
a
of.
point.
She was the glue, and Junko saw that, and in order to
Mm.
solidify the despair, she literally watched that person. She made people watch that person
Yeah.
just
Go through the worst hell.
be God. It's awful.
Like
It's what made
she couldn't
everyone
have made
snap.
anyone else in that class do that and have the same effect of literally turning the rest of the class into a
Junko could have killed anyone else,
you know.
and they probably would have been okay because of Chiaki.
They would have been less messed up, I should say.
Yeah.
Because Chiaki was the one who she was the glue that held them together. So without her, there was no recovering from it either.
Yeah, because she viewed Chiaki as a threat. She also views Chiaki
So-
as a threat in 2
Yeah.
as well. It's and she's not able to reveal herself until then as well, because Chiaki she's aware of Chiaki's existence, and Chiaki as a person could defeat her. So she has to hide until then.
But then what about you, Artie? Who was your
Did-
favorite
Are you sure
character?
you don't want to go first, Apollo?
Oh, sure. So my favorites for this, I just took 3 favorites for each one. So my favorites were Sonya, Gundam, and Akane. So the ultimate gymnast.
Who's your who's your favorite out of the 3 of them now? It's okay
Sonya's
that you
so
name multiple. I
fucking
want to know
boring.
who. If you only have to pick one, who is it?
I don't.
How do you like Sonya? She's so fucking boring.
I loved Sonya. Her personality, just the funniest thing she said. I loved her. I know that it's not held along the same lines, but I just loved her so much. Maybe I'd say Gundam just because he does have more relevance to the story, I guess.
Gundam's a good
And
character.
Akane was up there on the list too because I did her free time events and it made me love her a lot more.
Free time events
Akane-
really make such a difference.
Yeah,
Akane
literally that's
was
ultimate gymnast.
Yeah, she's the one that pals around with Nekomaru, and she's
fuck. I'm trying to remember what she
Kind of looks like Asahina.
she's kind of like a grizzly animal as well. She's very visceral and brutal.
She's got her breast out.
Also,
the really first
she lived homeless and basically on the streets, and it turned her into
And-
some sort of an animal, which is
Yeah.
weird.
I think she also got sexually assaulted.
Oh,
too, with the
yeah.
character, but
She
yeah.
literally looks
She
like
had to sell her body.
Asahina, but more buffed up.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
For,
she
food and stuff.
she had to sell her body, and it's
Akane
She's pretty
lived,
fucked
didn't
up.
she?
Yeah, that's why. What?
Akane was one of the survivors, right?
yes.
Yes, she lived. But yeah, and then favorite trial, the 5th trial. I mean, I
also
don't
like
think any
Teru.
body discovery. What?
I liked Teru.
I,
It was about time we had a pervert type character.
About time? Did you not meet Hifumi in the first game?
Hifumi didn't like real people. He only liked anime.
He was still a perv.
He was kind of all for Celeste, though. I mean, her stepping on him was a good thing for him. So Hifumi was kind of a
I think.
pervert.
Well,
He was
to
a perv,
point,
and then Miyu was the perv in the 3rd game.
Did you guys
They all
know that Teru
had
is actually bisexual?
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah. It's very,
Teru
very
was
clear.
into
Yeah.
anything if it was hot.
He does.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the first, when they're all on the beach, he says something to Nekomaru,
Yeah, because Nekomaru's in the Speedo.
and he's
I'm very.
I can't remember
in the
exactly what he
mind.
says, but he's like, you can ravage me with your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's a creature of pure sexuality, which is
Yeah.
something.
And
then
in his beta design, he was kind of hot.
What, Teru?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
It's kind of a mix between Leon and Mondo.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wonder why
it's
they want-
real weird.
I guess they really solidified that stereotypical pervert look then, because he's a tiny pervert
the
man.
chef, the whole
Yeah.
chef look.
For comedy, I think.
Yeah, but it's a very the tiny person is generally as a stereotype is the stupid pervert.
Or it's even just the person with the non-typical body type. If you're looking at Hifumi and then Teru, it's just they're not they're not the standard body
Well,
type
then look
in
at
the
Miyu.
game.
Yeah.
Mia was
Yeah,
supposed
but
to
they
be a
want
hated
to-
character.
What?
Apparently.
Huh?
Mia was made to be hated in that backfire.
Apparently, that's what I heard from a random Twitch comment. Not
Like
even
she's
on my
literally
own.
made for your hate. I mean,
Yeah,
they
but
do
Apparently made her to be like
but
a
then
hated
everybody
character.
loved her.
I did.
because like that's what happens. Like look at like pro wrestling. Like if you look at pro wrestling, how many villain archetypes became super huge wrestlers because
Undertaker,
everybody loved it.
Kane,
Stone Cold Steve Austin. I
Stone Cold
mean,
Steve Austin.
People love the villain. I mean,
yeah.
like,
A good villain like turns out like that's why an anti-hero exists, is because when a villain's too
Yeah.
good, they gotta like take a spin on it to where it's not morally incorrect to like that person, you know?
but even then, like, most times people don't care. Like, they want the character to be more morally incorrect. And like, if you're just looking
True.
at a game like Danganronpa, favorite character is probably messed up.
Yeah,
Like,
I like
yeah.
Kyo a lot.
Huh?
I like Kyo
Kyo.
a lot. I think he has one of the best friendship stories in the whole game. Out of all the
Yeah,
games.
until you I was on that board too until I found out like his trial and everything's like, okay, that turned out really different and ruined the entirety of how like nice that was. Like that actually got real
Have
creepy
you
real
done
fast.
his friendship story yet, Apollo?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
I haven't. I've done
Oh,
the friendship stories for everyone else in Danganronpa 1 and 2, and I'm just working through them now in 3. I think I've done like one of his
I've
for
only
Danganronpa
read his story,
3.
so I know a bit about it. I haven't seen it
Mhm.
because I was gonna watch Apollo do it on Discord. But
I'm still
from
debating
the
it,
general
yeah.
sense, it is he has one of the best in the whole series.
Yeah, until you find out what the fuck it means.
What is
And then
this? I'm not gonna talk about it because I don't want to spoil it for Apollo. But it sucks that they ruined his character.
they didn't ruin his
I mean,
character. You just
that
didn't
is his
understand who he
character.
was. Like
Ruin
you,
it. That's his
you
character.
had like it gives you this feeling and then changes the feeling completely. Like, oh, that's what that meant. So
And I'll say that for favorite, Chiaki's was obviously an amazing execution. So I'm just gonna say Gundam's was my favorite, just to be different. Because I honestly, out of 2, I really only liked Gundam's and Chiaki's executions.
Yeah.
Pico Pico's was fine, but I think it would have been boring without the whole Fuyuhiko part in it, which didn't even pay off. And then Teru's and Makon's,
I can't remember Teru's.
he just got dropped in a volcano and got battered. But yeah, that's about it. I think he got like pelted. I think he got tied to something and pelted with things too. Maybe.
yeah, I think he got beaten pretty hard for being like, you know, the little pervert he is, and then they end it with a hey, you're deep fried.
Yeah. It was like
Yep.
sent him up in a rocket and then dumped
Like,
in a volcano. It was
chef. That's about
it was like it just didn't follow like any of the things about like, you know, facing the most despair or anything like that. With that, and then Makan, I don't even remember if Makan died unhappy. I feel like she died happy.
Well, she's batshit insane at that point. Like just
True.
about as insane as Nagito on a regular day
Yeah.
basis. I would say
Yeah.
possibly even more insane at that point. yeah.
Probably because at least Nagito didn't really have Junko's influence.
I'm just gonna say right now, I'm not gonna answer the whole like favorite execution thing because it's undeniably Chiaki, like easily.
Yeah.
And Gundam's is a close second.
That's why I just had to say Gundam.
Yeah.
I just remember it being very. I think in the first game, close I came to crying was Sakura's trial. Second game, Gundam's execution.
Did you actually cry? Did you?
No, I didn't try any of them.
Apollo
then the
came
third-
very close to crying during Gunta's. You could see it in his face. His face
I
turned
got
It
red.
wasn't even during the execution. It was during,
No,
the,
during the
trial
trial.
when yeah.
Apollo's face went red. Like he was
I
like
was
close to
I was
crying.
very upset.
It's pretty fucked up. I mean, I gotta.
He doesn't even know what he did.
He's like, he didn't know what he did, and he was so sad about it. And he was the tears, the voice acting, all of it. I was like, nah, this ain't okay.
It hits you like okay. So just jumping real quick to it, since we're just talking about it, Apollo, I shit you not, I had to take the entire day off of the game after that.
Yeah,
like when they executed Gunta, I literally put like I was playing it. I put my PS4 away for the entire day.
Yeah,
after that,
it's
I had to be
a
told by a
rough
friend to keep
execution.
going because like I was actually gonna quit V3 permanently after that execution because it fucked me up that
Yeah,
bad.
and it was. I already wasn't liking Kokichi, and it really just solidified.
Oh no,
I solidified something in it.
you know
like, I
what?
understand how you
I
like
trolled
him.
this-
And all
I
that.
no, I trolled you. I actually don't love Kokichi. He is my favorite character out of respect, not love.
Okay, I guess I can understand that.
The balls on that tiny man, I swear to God, he is absolutely genius. He is incredible. He's every bit of the Ultimate Supreme Leader
very
as any
smart.
character could be.
Like, he wouldn't be my second most least favorite character if it wasn't for the fact that I love Kanta so much.
And the fact that he had to do to Gunta what he had to do for his plan too, and that I
made
don't
sense.
believe that
he killed off Gunta to make it more solidifying his lie of being the mastermind.
part of it, yes.
Yeah,
Do
partially.
you realize he had to kill Gunta once he used the flashlight on him?
Yeah, because
He
Gunta
had to.
knew the
wasn't-
truth.
He didn't do it to Gunta out of sheer hatred or anything. He had to at that point
No,
when he
he was-
tested the flashlight.
Yeah,
He
but
also
I think if he would have
to show
known,
Gonta the flashlight.
True,
I think if he would have
Gunta
known
was
that
a pretty
Gunta,
easy target.
that Gunta
Yeah, like,
wasn't
at
going to
that
remember.
point, once he did
He
the
took advantage of Gonta.
If he
He
had
took advantage, like, no matter how.
if he would have known that Gunta wasn't going to remember, I don't think he would have killed off Gunta because he did see Gunta as a friend. And I know that for a fact because when
I think
Gunta
that's-
dies,
I think that's stretching it a little bit.
That's
But
not-
Koichi is
theory based.
actually crying. He is actually upset that Gunta is getting
He's
executed.
actually cried multiple times in the game.
but not
He's
for
made
another
it very
character.
clear he can. No, yeah.
Who?
He's made it very clear he can, not for like a character's death,
No,
but
for
like
Gunta is the only
he knows
time.
how to fake cry. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
But I think when he's crying, he is actually getting upset over Gunta's death because he's
I mean, that's a
revealed
theory
that
that you can
he's.
have.
It's a very shared theory. He's
that'd be something
is
the
the-
author would have to
it
answer
is the
though.
first time he cries when a character has died through the whole game.
Yeah,
He
but it's also because
admits- He admits to getting Gunta to be the killer, but is showing huge remorse and is arguing at Gunta to please just have some kind of defense. Just defend yourself. Because he doesn't want Gunta to die. Obviously, like, he knows Gunta's gonna die, but he doesn't want Gunta to die without, like, going down without a fight. My throat's getting dry from speaking so much.
That's why I bring water.
I
bring water.
sincerely do think that Kokichi was crying when Gunta died. And it wasn't him fake crying, because that is the only time he ever cries during a character dying.
Like I
When-
said, that would be an answer that would be a
Yeah.
question that the author would have to answer about because I think the best part about Kokichi is you don't really know where he lies
Yeah.
because he's always lying and manipulating.
The thing
Yeah,
with
that too.
Danganronpa V3 is there's genuinely no way between Kokichi and Smugi. There is no single way to actually differentiate what's a lie and what hasn't been a lie.
There's not, and that's
the-
part of the
whole
fucked
purpose
up
of the
part.
game.
Yeah,
I think
It's why
so.
some people don't like the ending, but I personally like it.
I think
'cause-
if we're on 3
yeah.
now, I think all the executions of 3 are really well done.
Yeah.
They are
well,
all.
I already have none of 2 yet.
I thought you already
Um,
did.
speed round. So Nagito is obviously my favorite character. Ibuki is my second favorite character, but Nagito is batshit insane and a unique character. So I kind of fell in love with his like absolute insanity. It also didn't help that I didn't check with him in chapter 1, so I couldn't do his friend route because I chose fake Byakuya instead. Teru is my least favorite character because I don't really like pervert characters because they're just a stereotype, and that's basically all he is until you get to the anime. My favorite execution, favorite trial, Nagito, is because fucking genius.
He is very different in the anime. Teru.
He's extremely different. He's a different character altogether. He doesn't follow some weird stereotype. He's just like this weirdo, and I love it.
I will say my favorite line from the anime probably comes from Teru, and it's when Junko's talking about like, do you want death to them? I think at all, and he replies, "I don't want more. The only kind of more I want is la petite more," which is the French for orgasm, the little death. So, yeah,
What a fucking pervert!
yeah.
What a
even when he's
fucking
being-
little pervert!
Even when he's being threatened, he is still horny.
I mean, he only has one emotion. Here's your food, and man, I'm so fucking horny right now.
I also loved his real accent. It was, and when he just randomly screams Avril
fuck.
Lavigne, I was like, "What is going on?"
Ah,
It was enjoyable.
he's just a weirdo. Like he's a weirdo
Yeah.
for all the wrong reasons in my book. Anyway, we can now move into 3 as you want, Brew.
Okay,
I think all the executions in 3 completely show despair perfectly.
what? Okay, well, I think for 3, would you want to rank the executions? Because
Oh,
they're all amazing. I have my ranking written down.
I think
and
Kaede's.
prepared.
I think Kaede's is the worst.
Worst?
before or after you find out everything.
I still think hers is the weakest.
Apparently, there is some like things about Kaede's one, which is the song that she's supposed to be playing is supposedly supposed to only be played using the black keys of the piano, and in her execution she's only using the white keys. So it could be based on like how she's like butchering a song even in her last moments, or it could be like a hint that hey, she's not actually the Blackened. That's
That is
just
very clever.
some like
still
It's-
Easter
think
eggs, I guess.
Hers is the weakest.
I
I think it goes hers, Kyo's, Gunta's, then Karumi.
so, you have
So you're not
Karumi
even-
at the top.
So you're not even adding Kaido's then,
Yeah.
because
I
Kaido's is my
think-
favorite.
Kaido's is a failed execution.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's
why I love
great.
it.
It's
It's
not.
the biggest middle finger to Monokuma,
Yeah.
and
the
I
fact that
absolutely, I'm on board.
the fact that technically, I mean, they technically have another execution afterwards, but it's basically the last execution, and it's also the first execution you ever see in the game too.
It's a good
And
callback.
it ends on a fail.
Yeah.
With-
He
like,
dies
Hope
right
winning.
before it happens.
Yeah.
Like they're right there, and he just like
he
boom.
dies literally
dead.
he dies in his perfect moment. Like he dies happy because
Yeah.
he's in space.
It's the only one that like stands above that there's no despair, because he goes in not fucking worried, because Kaido's like, I'm okay with this, and he dies happy. Like it is the complete
Yeah.
polar opposite of every other death, every other execution, and I'm just like, it's perfect. It's fucking
Yeah.
perfect.
I have my order down as Gonta's being my least favorite because it just wasn't like up to par with a lot of the other ones. Like I don't know. I think it probably would have been better if it hadn't been for the monocubs there and the whole pregnancy scene, and then they just birthed out a giant. I don't know. It was like a bit too far fetched for me, I guess. And then second favorite was Kyo's, which just saying like all these like Kyo's, even starting at Kyo's, is probably going as like favorite executions of the series. So it goes Kyo's, Kaido's, Kaede's, and Karumi's as my absolute favorite because I just really loved Karumi's since.
Don't get me
One, I
wrong,
think the only
they're all
execution-
really good executions.
Yeah,
It's just I would not call any of them bad.
No, I wouldn't either. Like, least
even-
favorite is a good middle space,
Yeah.
because like I also was like, no, and all the executions are great in their own damn way.
yeah. That's what like Gonta's is my least favorite because I didn't really quite understand it, but like it's still not as bad as like
He's getting
Mondo's or
killed by
Rakon's or
the
anything
one
like
thing
that.
he loves in life, insects.
But not even because they're mechanical insects, the one thing he doesn't understand in life. So it's
Yeah.
actually he's still dying via technology made to look like the thing that he loves.
Well,
he's
not the baby. That's real.
No, that's a
Is it,
machine.
is it a machine too? I
Yeah.
didn't really pay.
Yeah.
I didn't really look that much then.
That's why like Gonta can't
Yeah.
like communicate with any of the bugs
Be
there.
friends, yeah.
So he's literally like out of his element the most in the entire series, because there's his ultimate ability is useless because there's actually no real bugs there.
Yeah. So like in that sense, it is a good execution. I just don't think it like portrayed the whole despair factor as well as like literally all of the other ones did it really well.
I think Gonta's is also like kind of hard to deal with, because you see the confusion all the way through, because Gonta's just confused. He doesn't understand what's going on all the way up until they kill him. He's just confused. He doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't understand why these machines aren't real bugs. He doesn't understand that he's about to die, and he just dies. And his friend, and he doesn't understand why his friends depend this on him either.
He understands why he's gonna die.
No, he did understand why the friends pinned it on him. Like he was willing to accept it, which is even more heartbreaking. But yeah,
See, like it's been a good like 7 years for me for V3. I think I don't know if that's an accurate assumption of like, I don't remember when it was released. I played it on release date and then didn't pick it up until I was watching
4 to 5 years now since it came out. The trial is Gunta doesn't remember because it was the AI version. What happens is that Gunta doesn't know left and right. He was raised in the woods by wolves.
Technically, he doesn't, but technically what really messed him up was Hiyoko being like, okay, so right is the hand that you hold your chopsticks in, and Gunta's left-handed. So he kind of knew his lefts and rights. He was just very easily confused with them.
Yep.
And so he plugged in the wires wrong, and so when they went into
blaming everyone for Gunta's death.
When they went into the virtual world, it was just like he was sleeping. Didn't remember anything that happened.
Well, because the memory, it wasn't less like he was there in the virtual world, and
But when he
was,
woke
like,
up, it
present,
was like it
he
was
woke
a
up.
dream.
It was like there's no memory of it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so the way it's easy way it's explained is because since he messed up the headset, it was able to receive but was not able to resend back.
Yeah.
So like he was able to it's like a modem being able to send a signal but not receive it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was like if you're only getting download but not upload speed.
Yeah, correct.
Hmm.
Or like vice versa, because it was getting upload, but you couldn't
But it wasn't
re-download
download-
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't know anything.
So that's actually a
about
perfect
it.
analogy for it.
But and like Kyo's I liked because I mean with his execution he was happy with dying. Cause like he was gonna be reunited with his sister.
Fucking
But
psychopath.
like I know. So like what way do you like make that despair inducing? Oh, you make his sister like use salt and banish him for the evil spirit that he is.
Seal
like,
him instead of
Monokuma
letting him
also doing
join
it.
her in the afterlife.
Yeah. So like that's like how
When
you
you
mess
do
that one up.
Kyo's friendship thing, I want you to go in not thinking about what you already know.
That's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah.
I just
Because
want you
all
to
the
try.
subliminal,
I mean, I can like
all the
imagine it, but
messaging.
yeah. But then Kaido's I really like for like the reason that we said before, in that like it's a big fu to Monokuma. Kaede's I just really liked. I just really liked it to be honest. And then with
Have
Kurumi's
you-
I really liked it because her whole thing was like doing whatever she can to serve, and like it was. I think the only execution that Monokuma is never featured in at all, because he's nowhere to be seen during it. And realistically, she doesn't get forced to do anything. Like, she willingly climbs up the rope, she willingly pushes on through all the blades, and she believes fully that, like, she is gonna, like, save her country once she gets out. Like, she has to, like, fulfill this task. And at the end, she's like, nope, sorry, you can't do it. It's all fake. Bye-bye. And I think it's also, like, based off of a, like, proverb or something like that. About someone who's like in hell, there's like a spider web that comes down from heaven, and they're like, hey, you can come up, and they're climbing spider web.
And
The
then
other people in hell, all the other people start climbing the spider web too, and he goes, "Get off! You're gonna break the rope. I'm going to heaven." And him being greedy is what makes the rope fall, which also parallels her trial, which is she got greedy and wanted to be the only one to live because she thought she was more important than everyone else, which could be the case, but like. Yeah. So I just really liked that execution, and it was real brutal too. I mean, most of the execution were brutal in this game.
Who's your least favorite character?
Kyo,
Really? Whoa! What?
Korakyo, yeah.
Over Kokichi?
Kokichi's my second least favorite.
That
Yeah.
is that because you? Okay, so at the time when you were playing, before you got to the end, you were livid about Kokichi. Barely mentioned Kyo. Is it
No, here's
because
the
you
thing.
found out more?
No. Even when I was saying it, even at my worst, I occasionally made sense to be like, he is my least favorite. I'm not even counting Korakyo in this like list of favorites because he is in a different plane.
I was going to actually ask you who was your least favorite besides Kokichi, and you just blew my damn mind. So
no, Kyo is by far my actual least favorite because I disliked his motive. I dislike him. Hate him. Hate
he's
his
a
family.
fucking
Hate his
psychopath.
work.
He's a brutal murderer of women.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it because
He's
like
like-
that's my least favorite too because of the same reason.
Yeah, like
He's like a Jack the Ripper.
He's except for just like more
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I guess we don't really know.
Not the same fucked up.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, no, didn't like him. And then Kokichi was like second favorite because
Second least favorite, you mean?
yeah. Oh
Don't
god.
fuck up with
least
that.
favorite because he did have some funny lines before he killed Gonta, and he personally did it.
Do you think if like the
yeah.
Gonta thing never happened, how would you feel about him then? Or if it wasn't Gonta?
If it wasn't Gonta, like maybe he could have killed. Who lived? Not many people actually.
He could have killed Himiko instead. Let's say you killed Himiko instead.
Everybody would have been so happy. Everybody would have loved Kokichi.
He definitely wouldn't have been like making it near the top of the list. He could have been like midway.
Okay. So like basically the one you hate, biggest thing you hate most is the Gonta thing.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Because that's the reason
Like-
why I don't. That's the reason why I don't love Kokichi is because like he's an evil little shit.
Yeah.
But
He-
like
oh,
you know that though, like
He's a
he's
supreme
not
leader.
afraid to tell you that no, I'm the ultimate supreme leader. Of course, I'm going to be evil.
no. So that's the main one, and I guess like I don't know, Smoothie's probably down there in the bottom of the list too. Even after her reveal, like
You through
Oh,
the
yeah,
whole
she's
thing like
mastermind.
Smoothie's not really doing anything. I had to hold my tongue the entire
to be
time.
completely
It
fair,
makes so
even
much
after the end,
sense.
she's not doing much either. Like she is still a plain Jane character.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And I seen another thing with like her execution on how it was like basically Junko's execution, but without any flair to it because she is just Junko without any flair.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
Like
correct.
she
Like,
gets
she's
threatened
waving
like
and
Junko
then-
does, but yeah. So like
it's so good.
yeah.
I thank you for making this topic for tonight, Brute. Like I've had so much fun so far.
My least favorite is Tenko. I don't
Ooh.
like the whole negative men energy she gives off. She's a very sexist character, and I don't like it.
She's a stereotype,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
big stereotype.
and I just don't like the whole like men are degenerate vibe she gives off. I think
mean,
it's
she's-
very bad.
She's a hardcore stereotype, and yeah, is like in our society especially because like I don't think Japan like really cares too much about it as much as we do now. Like it's
Mhm.
extremely sexist, but you know it is what
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
and that's just
And
I
it's
don't
also
like it.
yeah.
I Apollo already knows. Well, Katie knows, but I am a like I'm very about equalness. You don't have to talk at all, Artie, because I know you don't like getting into stuff like this. I'm very about equalness between male and female, men and women, and I'm a men's activist, and Katie's a
Mm.
feminist, but not like hardcore, like fucking crazy. But I am
Mm.
very like about men and women should be equal, no matter what the
Mm.
situation is. And so for Tenko, that just kind of like blows everything I believe out of the water.
I mean, it's kind of like a bit of a based on like Tenko. Sure, she's like degenerate males don't touch me. You learn in her
There-
backstory it's because her master
Yeah,
tells her
and
that like
which
if a
just
man touches her,
worsen it for me, where she's just easily manipulated into thinking that
yeah.
men are terrible and that she shouldn't
then
touch them.
isn't it kind of the same thing when you also have a character who is literally a serial killer to women
True.
with Kyo? Like
True.
Yeah,
they're kind of hitting both bases.
Do you realize how ironic it was that Kyo killed her too because of that?
Yeah.
well, Kyo
Like
didn't-
Tenko was all about irony in a lot of the game. Like they kind of used her in that particular point because with the maid like being the second killer and her not willing to believe it because she was a girl. And then
Mm.
the next thing that happens is she's murdered by a man who's killing her because she's a girl. Extremely ironic.
there's a lot of
And
female
it's
Dirks
pretty
really early
I
in the
feel
game.
really bad for Tenko in that whole situation too. Like I feel very sad. Like if Tenko was a real person, I'd feel even worse. But like as a
Yeah.
character, she's just a very tragic character. I can't bring myself to hate her
And,
just
like,
because of it.
It's not like she's like fully against. Like, sure, she was raised that way, like in her training and all like that. If you go to the friendship events, she does end up being like, okay, maybe not all men are bad. Like,
Yeah,
she
'cause,
does
like-
have that character growth and
Because
learning.
Shuichi actually like
Yeah.
breaks the mold.
But it doesn't change how she acts throughout the game.
Right? No, you're absolutely right. And that's how you feel. That's how you feel, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like I'm explaining the like as much as I would defend Kokichi, I feel like if I don't feel the same way, I should bring up a defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't
Like, it
defend
doesn't-
like
It doesn't mean you're wrong for feeling that way, bro. You're completely
Mm.
justified in the whole fact.
But
That's
And
completely
then
fine.
the opposite side of the spectrum, I liked Kyo as a character.
yes. Like,
Okay, no, that's a little bit fucked up and
you
kind
also
of.
said you like Teru, who makes a lot of rapey comments. Like, there's there's a balance.
I stand up for you, and this is how you treat me.
I don't
Is this how
think
you treat me, bro?
Kyo is not my most favorite character, but he definitely is in like top 5, not top 3. I like Kyo's appearance. I think he's the most badass looking of the group. Without knowing what's going on, like I said, he has one of the best friendship stories in the whole game. Out of all the games, it's one of the best. Before you know what's going on, sure, he's fucked up. He is very fucked up.
No.
He didn't kill his sister. I don't think he killed his sister.
like I said, I don't think the author said either way, but I would probably like, yeah, he
No.
probably.
Well, she
murdered
was
his
very
sister.
sick. She was dying of an illness. We know
So
Yeah,
that.
well, he could have
so what's the
finished
one
it.
thing a loving brother could do for his sister?
I get it. He
End
still,
her suffering, Groot.
yeah. I see that as, if it's true, then I see it as more as like a mercy killing.
But it started him off on okay, that mercy killing awoke the killer inside him though.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's why he kills other women so his sister
won't be alone.
isn't alone.
Which is like, depending on how you look at it, it's sweet, but it's fucked up.
I don't think there's anything sweet once you find out what's wrong with that whole picture. I don't
He
think that's
really
at all.
likes-
I think the fact that some people are like, oh, that's the best one. I'm like, okay, buddy. I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
It was an incestual relationship?
It
I mean,
was.
that's not the worst part of it. Like, sure, like, yeah, that's messed up in a lot of other people's book. That's not the worst part of it. The worst part of it is he loves his sister, he ended her, and now he's sending her friends. That's the whole reason it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I
Okay,
don't care about the
definitely.
incest. That's like, I can overlook that part.
I kind
be
of almost
honest,
can't, but like
I can
it's-
too. Like, it's, it's fucking weird, but you do you, buddy.
It's not something I would do personally, but yeah, it's not unheard of. The worst part about it is he ended her life and then sends her friends. That's the whole problem.
Is incest illegal?
I don't think that it's frowned upon, but I don't think it's technically illegal in most states. I just think like marriage doesn't allow it.
Yeah, marriage doesn't
Yeah.
allow it. But I don't think it's illegal.
That's
Yeah.
a bit of a weird
is why-
conversation topic to start
Yeah.
going out. I think we
Yeah,
should
let's go back to Danganronpa.
But
Would you
yeah,
like to continue, Brood?
I do
actually,
like
wait. Can
my most
I-
favorite character.
Wait,
Wait,
go
wait.
on.
My most favorite character would either be, I really like Angie. I think she's really well done, and she sincerely cares about the other characters. She really does want the killing game to end, and I think without the whole cult stuff, she could have gotten it to go the way she wanted.
Totes.
The whole cult fucking, whatever the fuck her name of her god was.
Oh, Atua. Yeah.
Atua.
Well, I did
Atua
do her
loves you.
free. Yeah, I did do her like free time events, and you basically learned that she. I don't know whether she invented Atua, but she has convinced herself that her own inner monologue is Atua speaking to her.
Hmm.
So her saying Atua says this, Atua does this, that's actually just what she wants to do. Or like, so when she's saying like Atua loves you, actually probably saying that she like cares about the person as a whole. But she did that way because
The reason you like Angie is the reason I don't like Angie.
Is
Hmm.
Atua?
Do you know what happens in a cult the first time there's a bit of like the first time you start to lose control? That person's the problem. Get them. Atua doesn't like them. We should kill them. That's literally where Angie would have went. If she would have
I
kept
agree.
going and Kyo hadn't killed her, I legit feel like that's exactly where Angie's character would have went.
yeah,
It would have been like all missed bullshit cult
And
thing.
I
Like
think that
if you want Atua to love you, kill this person because they're wrong.
And to be honest, that would have been perfect.
I
like the
really
idea of
thought
that.
Angie was gonna be a
Yeah.
killer. Though to be fair, this is the spoiler that I accidentally spoiled myself on. So I remember I was going through a YouTube comment, like while watching like videos on like Danganronpa 2 or 1, and someone made a comment. I can't remember what the comment is because I tried to avoid it because I recognized, oh, this is a character that I know. I need to stop reading. The comment referred to Angie, which name stuck out because obviously like in terms of, like the other character's name, obviously it's a different name.
It's not a Japanese name.
Was somehow Angie possessing someone? I don't know what it's in reference to. And when I started playing the game, I was like, oh, I think Angie's going to possess Himiko. To the point where in Chapter 3, I thought the entire murder was going to play out that Tenko killed Angie, Angie possesses Himiko, Himiko kills Tenko, but it's actually like Angie who's escaping or something. I was like, how is this going to play out? And then it didn't play out. I was like, oh, I guess maybe it's just like a little character thing that happens eventually. And then like when Kibo like lost his whole game, started going wild, I was like, oh, maybe he's going to go wild. Samugi, I also thought Samugi was going to turn into like a superhero cosplay, but it turns out that was just like a fan game that I've seen. That I was like, so I thought the final was going to be Shuichi
So
and
spoilers
Maki.
that really were spoilers at all.
No, I thought
What were you surprised?
I thought the finale was literally gonna be Shuichi and Maki, like all going up against like Monokuma, I guess. Samugi dressed up as a superhero, like wild robot Kibo, and then Himiko who was possessed by Angie, who was now using magical powers. And I was like, I've literally seen the sprite for what this possessed Himiko looks like. It was actually just the sprite for Angie's beta design, which is a smaller character wielding a huge paintbrush that I think I thought was a wand. So
I mean, weird things.
I went through that entire game being like, oh, I'm so disappointed I got spoiled. And
So
never
wait,
came up.
you thought you had the ending already spoiled for you?
I thought I had chapter 3 spoiled, and that chapter 3's whole thing was going to be like Angie dies and Angie possesses. I wasn't sure who, but I was like, she's close to Himiko. Himiko's related to
Right.
magic.
I mean, that's a good thing though, because your
So,
spoilers kind of like
When
completely
you saw
surprised you.
Angie's death, you were like, "Fuck."
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I wasn't really speculating too much. Or if I was like, I think it's Himiko or Angie. But yeah, so I'd love to see what the comment actually said now, so I can like read it fully because I have no idea. But
Brew, did you cover all the topics?
I believe so. Wait, no, you didn't say your favorite character, Artie.
No, yeah.
yeah,
So
that's what you're going to do.
So my favorite, okay, so he's kind of a moron, but I actually like Kaido the most because like he's just like the strong, like I do what's right because it's right kind of person. Like he even defends Kokichi when in all rights, like he should have probably like there's different reasons why he didn't allow Maki to kill him because he was also in that moment defending Maki as well. But like Kaido's just like a good guy. He's a good dude, kind of a moron, but a good dude. My least favorite person is of course Kyo, followed by Angie, because I completely did not appreciate what Angie was about. My favorite execution was, of course, I said earlier Kaido's. Kaido's just a big fuck you to the entire series. I love it.
Really hard to pick a favorite execution from that game.
I just feel like Kaido just kind of sticks out because of its just uniqueness. Like it's the polar opposite of what you expect in execution,
like I said,
and fantastic.
I don't count Kaido's as an execution.
That's fine. I do. Because like he technically still dies. He just, gives a big fuck you thumb middle finger up to Monokuma, and that's great. No one's ever done that before. And he's the only one that'll probably ever do it now, so in terms of ranking them, I guess I'd put Kaido's first. Kaide's really fucked me up, so it'd probably be second, followed by Gonta's. Like they're all three. Like Kaido's is up there. In terms of most fucked up, like I said, Gonta's one fucked me up so hard. Like that was a hard moment for me. Like, and I feel bad about like making fun of Apollo for it because like I was just messing around with him the entire time.
I was fine with it.
Because like I literally put that game down after that, and I had to be told by a friend to go back to it because it wasn't what I thought.
I mean, was it not?
No, because like after finding out that like what he like explaining the flashback lights and like explaining that it was all fake, Gonta's death doesn't hit me nearly as hard anymore because like it was all scripted. It was all scripted. The only thing that wasn't scripted was Kokichi. Kokichi's whole thing, he's the only contestant. Like that's why I respect Kokichi so much, and he's like my favorite character out of respect. He's the only character to take the game hostage and almost completely fuck over Monokuma. If Maki if he hadn't have planned for everything to go down, and Monokuma didn't have Shuichi to cover his ass, Kokichi would have fucked the entire game up. He would have ended it by himself, being the genius that he is.
Yeah, that wasn't scripted, right?
Respect for him. Huh?
That wasn't scripted. He broke the script.
As far as we know.
No, Kokichi was not scripted. Tsumugi and Monokuma had to put a stop to him because of what he was doing to the game.
That's why they put the flashback lights that made them believe that Kokichi was the master, like kind of reinforced that Kokichi was the mastermind, like which is what he wanted, and they the remnant of the spear, and that they needed to kill him. So like they made it out like make sure that like they were gonna kill him.
Which is weird because like Monokuma did that because he had to kill because he had to get Kokichi killed. But Kokichi also like planned ahead and knew Monokuma would do that. So Maki killing Kokichi is actually all part of Kokichi's plan and not Monokuma's. Which is some kind of like brain genius weird shit that like I'm like, damn.
Can I ask for clarification? Because when I was doing that trial, you were very vehemently against Maki.
I did
which
not
I
like
kind of
Maki.
understand.
I literally was pissed
Yeah.
off at Maki because I blamed her for Kaido's death until I watched the rest of it. I
So it
gave
was
her,
kind of like
I
a thing
forgave
of like
her.
me
Yeah, it was
hating Kokichi in chapter
reactionary.
4.
It was reactionary, and
Sure.
after a long time, I was like, okay, Maki's not that bad. She's just kind of a moron.
So is it like kind of how I was with Kokichi because he was kind of what killed
Yes,
Gonta?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, Maki is the
Maki's not even
only.
my second least favorite character because
I
like
think
she's
yeah.
she's necessary for the entire plot.
I
Kokichi doesn't blame her at all, and
hmm.
but like I kind of like if just imagine how you feel if Kaido actually got executed there instead of the middle finger.
Yeah, would have sucked. I think I'm kind of fine with it for Maki because while it was kind of like one of her dumber moments in the game,
She really thought she killed Kaido.
Yeah,
yeah, but at the same time, it was like at the point when she had just begun to open up and think more emotionally rather than
She fell for Kaido
rationally.
romantically.
Yeah,
I started forgiving her the moment she
Yeah.
admitted to Kaido that she fell in love with him.
yeah.
I
Like
started
that
bawling.
hurt. That
I was
fucking hurt.
bawling behind the screen.
I think maybe because I was also doing her free time events at that time too for that trial. So I was like really starting to feel for her, and I was like, oh, this is it kind of just like all fit together because it was like, oh, she's like opening up now.
Can I actually like interject with something?
Go
I
on.
accidentally did every killers besides Tsumugi's free time before they got out.
Like right.
I started with the maid, then I moved to Kyo, and they both died immediately after I got them done.
Yeah.
I did Maki's, I did Kokichi's, and I did Kaido's, and technically I only missed Tsumugi for the killing.
You didn't do
Gonta.
Guntas.
Oh no, I did not do Gonta's.
Yeah.
Because like so technically I missed Gonta's because I like Apollo never imagined that Gonta could have killed anybody, and that's the reason.
I was honestly kind of prepared to see Gonta. Like I was like, oh, like even from start, I was like, there's no way he's making it to the end of the game. Like I was just like, I hardly doubt it.
You really feel like they're gonna Sakura him? Like someone's gonna figure it out a way to like murder Gonta because he's the strong. And they set it up specifically in the virtual world to make a point that Gonta is just as weak as anybody else.
Yeah, like it really was going along the lines of like he was giving me a lot of chapter 4 vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It didn't matter.
Mm.
Doesn't
He,
matter
like,
if you're
didn't have
weak,
his
you
strength.
sneak up on someone.
I mean, like,
that's why it didn't matter, but like they had to put that baseline there. I think it came up eventually when someone was like, "Oh, he could have done this," but yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I want to know, Paulo. The longer the game got on, did you start thinking that hey, Gunta might live? And then did that fill you with despair?
No, I think when he wasn't the death in chapter 4, which was really the worst time to start believing he might live.
You were like,
I
"You can
was
do
like,
this."
4 was such a doozy
Yeah.
degree. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was like maybe he could. I was like, I don't know. Like there was never a time because at that point I was like too invested in the trials properly, be thinking about like, oh, who's gonna live past it, like past to the end of the game. Like I just wasn't really thinking
When
about that.
Miyu died, and Gunta specifically said something like, "We all just went to sleep." I was like, "Oh, that's not good."
I didn't pick up on it because I was just imagining that like Gunta just didn't. It just really fit his character to not know.
The moment I saw him
Like,
say that, I was like, "That's bad."
No, actually, no, it didn't. Because I do recall that the Avatar error, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be him, but I think someone messed him up.
My question is, so Apollo's theory was that he was being controlled. Would that still have counted as Gunta killing them, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like what Kokichi did was basically
no, not he's saying like if like my theory had have been true,
controlling his character.
So you're saying like if it was just the Avatar and Gunta had nothing to do with it?
Yeah.
Well,
my theory I think was that like Kokichi hacked something and
was controlling
Gonta's character. So for Gonta, he actually was asleep.
I think that would have technically made Kokichi the Black in that.
Yeah.
But the way it actually works is Gonta was in the system. He just couldn't get any of the memory back. So it was completely Gonta's actions. That's also why I don't blame Kokichi for Gonta's death a whole lot, because when you're that persuaded into murdering someone that easily, Like I kind of like chalked it up to like who really killed Gonzo was Monokuma and the flashlight. Because like all he had to do was see the flashback light, and then immediately he like Kokichi's like, oh well, Mio's trying to leave the game. You really want to let her? And Gonzo's like, no, I gotta stop her.
I think it was more of a like because I still
Gunta
can't believe
very
it's like
clearly wanted to protect his friends. He didn't want anyone to die.
he
But
very
after
clearly wanted to protect
whatever
them.
we know what he saw in the flashlight light, and I think that's enough motivation to be like nobody should leave this place.
Well, here's the thing, because he's
But he
seen
was
that
willing to
flashback
murder her
light.
though.
Here's the thing. So
At
we
the same
like,
time, Kokichi could have told everyone.
Could have,
yeah,
yeah.
I really.
But that's not
Kokichi
Kokichi, and he
Yeah,
very plain. I did Kokichi's
I can see.
friendship. It's nothing but a bunch of lies. Like
Yeah.
you almost get nothing from Kokichi's friendship stuff because all he does is fuck with you. Until like he's like, you're really okay with me fucking with you like this? And you're like, yeah, I guess so. I just kind of want to understand you. And then like he ends it with, you're never gonna understand me. Quit it.
By the way, back
I-
to Danganronpa 2, if you do Nagito's friendship story, he totally wants to fuck.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like Nagito's in love with Hajime.
Yeah,
I heard
he's romantically in love with him. Yeah.
I had heard that like it reveals Nagito to be very in love with. I did not know who he wanted to, but I had guessed. It's okay. It's okay. I haven't done it in so many years. I wasn't probably going to do it unless I was watching someone else do it. I was very well aware that like Nagito is gay. He's
Yeah,
very gay.
they still like it's still not super laid out clear, but it's about as clear as you're probably gonna get in an anime
Yeah.
game. So,
He loved Hajime.
yeah,
I mean,
it makes it like ultimately.
I wish I had actually instead of doing fake Byakuya, I wish I did Nagito instead because I would have probably really loved his character more if I had actually done that through it.
His friendship changes if you do it in chapter 2 and not chapter 1.
I tried to do it in chapter 2.
You
You're not allowed
can.
to do it in chapter
Yeah.
2
Oh yeah.
because
Okay.
you get,
only
you
do
get
it
his
in
first
chapter 1.
you get his first one and then it blocks you the rest of the way. You have to do it in chapter 1 or he locks and you cannot do any of his friendship stuff at all. So you have to actually approach him in chapter 1 or you lose out on it completely.
What's your favorite trial?
Oh, Kokichi's. Easily. Like it's all sorts of random. I mean, it's the obvious answer and it makes it clear that, but it is so good at tricking you into believing that you're completely wrong
By the
until
way,
you arrive back
so
at it like, oh, it's the obvious
I should have
answer.
been more clear when I sent you what I thought because it was very clear that Kokichi was dead.
Oh yes, it was very clear.
Yeah.
The
And
entire
that was
time.
Kaido in there. What I meant was I think Kokichi told Kaido to kill him, but I don't know why.
You literally wrote out that Kaido killed Kokichi, and Maki's helping him cover it. Like that, I think like in so many words, that's what you said.
Which is almost the opposite of what happened.
Yeah, I did think Maki.
Maki almost killed Kokichi,
I
and
was
Kaido
right
was
in the
helping
fact
her
that
cover it.
Maki was a part of it.
Oh no, Maki was a part of it.
Yeah.
You had that right.
I mean,
the problem is Kaito didn't kill Kokichi for Maki, and Maki didn't technically help him.
No, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Do you think Kaido would have killed Kokichi and become?
I think Kokichi's plan would have fell apart if Maki had not attacked him.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Like
Maki was integral to his plan to do that. It's very clear and laid out. The fact that Kaido has to do it to save Maki.
Yeah.
Like he has to do it to protect Maki. And that's exactly the reason why he does it.
He would not have killed Kokichi if Maki didn't show up.
Kaido would have shut up his ass if that had not happened.
I think he denies, like in the trial, he denies that that's the reason, but I'm pretty sure that he also would deny it just so Maki doesn't feel that blame.
Yeah, definitely.
For like killing.
I mean, why would you like
rule.
The person that loves you is about to watch you die? Why would you admit that?
No,
Kaido's not that dumb.
And then I think my favorite trial, it's a toss up between 3 and 4. I think Kyo is very smart. And I think if he wouldn't have killed Angie, he might have gotten away with it. Actually, I think killing Angie was very clever.
Here's the thing, he didn't want to get away with it.
I think killing Tenko is actually what gave away because like Angie was a bit serious. Tenko was the reason why we figured out why he killed. Like it was him. So had he avoided doing Tenko's and doing it as like gleefully as he did right in front of everyone, That's why he got caught.
Well, the
Anyone
whole
could have set up.
Because
I-
we wouldn't have inspected those rooms. We wouldn't have had any reason to inspect rooms, or especially underneath of the rooms, if it wasn't.
if he had
for
just
him,
killed
like,
Angie when
doing
she
more
saw what
stuff.
happened and walked away, he probably would have got away with it.
That's the thing with a lot of these like half the time I feel like setting up the murder is what really screws them over. Whereas they just like open someone's
But
door, stab
I
them,
like the
walk
whole
away.
idea that he uses where he kills Tenko and then goes, "It was useless because somebody else killed Angie."
Yeah.
It was
But
very clever, and it sucks it
oh
didn't go down
yeah.
that way. I also like Gunta's trial because it's very well done. It's really emotional. It's the first time where you really feel some emotion going on. Like,
I
obviously, other characters you're sad for, but for Gunta, it's like, damn, this is fucked up.
Yeah, I have to admit, like, the leading up to Gunta's execution really hurt me. The reason why I don't give Gunta a pass is because when you break it down, Gunta was willing to murder someone due to his beliefs.
I will say here. Okay, I want to defend Gonta for a second.
That's all right. You're more
like
welcome.
a Gonta defense squad shirt on, but because okay, so we know how the other characters reacted when they found like the equivalent of what the flashback like Gonta was shot was like. The outside world's a mess. There's literally nothing out there but despair. Life is over. Life is cruel. Life is horrible. All of that. And the other characters, most of them did not leave bed for like multiple days. They were shocked. They weren't eating. They felt like a major depression. With Gonta, he had that like intense moment, and instantly upon doing it, he had the ultimate ultimate supreme leader convincing him, "Hey, wouldn't this be real bad if everyone else found it? They may as well die right now." Like,
Yeah, no,
He was manipulated.
it's honestly good Gunta did die there because you think he would have stopped at Miyu?
he would have gone out of the virtual world and wouldn't have known.
Yeah, but imagine
But
like
I think
imagine
also
for,
think if he had found,
imagine for a second he did remember and how bad that'd be.
I
Because he would
suppose,
have went from Miyu to the second one, and then
No.
maybe had to have stopped. He like outside
I
the
think-
outside the virtual world, no one could have stopped him at all.
I think
And it would have
outside
been
of the
easy.
virtual
It's
world,
like
maybe could have.
wait.
fingers.
No, I think outside of the
Lucky could
virtual
have.
world, he would have seen all his friends and the heartache he had caused. And had
Yeah,
not
I don't
gone.
think he could have like actually gone through with it. But I am saying I don't think he, if Kokichi, like if it had just been him finding that out, I don't think he would have come to the conclusion of murdering people without help from Kokichi.
I'm saying Kokichi did set him off on that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also saying he was that dumb to be like just a single sentence, and he's like, okay, time to kill.
Oh, he was very dumb, but also like, and as well, just with like finding that out, like he is also dealing with that despair in that moment.
I'm not
most
saying that
vulnerable.
I'm not saying that he's unforgivable. I'm saying
Mm.
to me, I don't let him off because Gunta has it in him. Like
So,
with a simple sentence, he's so dumb. With one sentence and the right situation, he goes to kill him.
So the only people
Technically
you
with
let
the
off
ending.
are Gundam and who was the other one you said?
Chiaki,
Chiaki.
and I think there was someone else. Oh, Kaido, but you weren't counting that.
Talking to you, Artie.
Wait, what? The
only
passes?
killers, yeah. The who?
Yeah.
What, you said it's Gundam and who else?
It's I give Kaido a pass. I give Kaede a pass because technically she didn't fucking do it.
Oh, you don't need to give her a pass. That's
No, I give her a pass because she didn't fucking do it.
yeah.
But she tried to do it.
She tried to do it, but she failed.
I will
And
also-
that's
yeah.
kind of sad in its own way. But
Mm.
and also she admits it too. She doesn't fight it in the end.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to like she didn't try to escape.
Yeah,
she actually had the chance to escape too.
Yes, and that's
She
that's
could've just,
another
like-
big part. She could have just walked right the fuck out of there
Yeah.
Yeah,
and been done.
Didn't Monokuma say the first kill is a free pass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She
she was
didn't-
so
That right
stunned
then and
make
there,
it.
the moment he said that, I would have started strangling someone. Just right then and
I
there,
mean,
just right for the neck.
Because you're
bite it.
evil. But like,
Yep, I'm.
No,
dude,
here's the thing, like, she didn't want to do
this
that
is gonna
because she
get-
didn't want Rantaro's death to be insignificant. Like she was like, no, we need to find a mastermind in this trial.
Yeah, also, how would you like it's very clear that V3's Monokuma is not the original Monokuma.
No, not at all.
It's the only time Monokuma has actually broke his rules. How much you want to bet? The person that came through, they would have been free to leave, but he would have killed them instead.
No, because he never breaks
Why?
his word.
Nope, he does. Because Kaede didn't do it.
Yeah. Smoogie does it.
V3 Monokuma is not to be trusted at all because he broke his own rule. The real Blackened was not Kaede. It was the mastermind.
Technically, Force Games Monokuma does the same thing in the 5th trial when you're either killing Makoto or Kirigiri.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
neither of them are technically the Blackened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Monokuma's
but I
down
think
and
that
the
early
rules.
on, I think he would have actually let them walk away because it would have put the spare in the others.
I don't think so. I think he would have looked like it, and he would have led them into the mastermind room and then like straight up murdered them. Like he would have like assaulted them with Monokuma dolls
You
and
have
murdered
no
them.
idea.
Yeah, we don't actually know.
I legit think it was too easy, and Monokuma, nothing is that easy.
I mean,
It
there
was
is a
way
chance
too
though.
easy.
There is a chance he would have been okay with it because theoretically, like technically, the forced kill is always
What sets
like
everything off?
how are you gonna like what's gonna drive someone to killing, and then they have something that drives someone to killing, and then after that, like if there's already been one kill, it's already in people's minds. They're like, okay, these people that I'm with are clearly capable of it. As in terms of what you said about Gonta, by the way, Artie,
I think
about how
it's a
in the end,
50-50.
yeah.
It's very possible he would have let them live and walk out. But it's
I
very
think the
possible he
reason why
would've
the
killed
motive
them.
was there in the first place is because Monokuma knew that no one was going to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to put that as a motive, as a special motive, just to try to hope to get someone to kill somebody.
Yeah.
So he knew like sure as shit, no one's going to take it.
It was actually the time limit motive that was the real motive.
That was the real motive. Like kill now or or everybody dies.
Yeah.
But no, about what you said, yeah, that's also why like I'm able to forgive Kokichi a bit more, is because all the characters are not real in V3. They're all playing a character that's been pre-written.
They're still humans.
I'm also going to say about you saying how Gonta still had it in him to commit a murder. Technically, with V3, every single character had it in them to commit murder because they all signed up to do it willingly, almost happily, trying to take part. But
At the same time, I guess his character always had it in him. So like if we go back to the fact that they're all characters, his character is so dumb it takes a single sentence to get him to kill somebody. And that's the part I six.
You know what?
His death is sad. I'll give you that. It affected me. I don't hate Gonta as a character. I'm just simply saying it takes a sentence for him to start killing somebody.
I think without Kokichi, if he would have just saw the flashlight light, he wouldn't have killed anyone. 100%.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
He might not have thought to kill somebody.
True.
He might not have. Had it occurred to him,
it is very easy to manipulate people when they're going through a lot of stress.
Also, Kokichi, his ultimate talent is basically becoming a evil supreme leader.
His ultimate talent covers
manipulation
and like cosplaying and like true and huge leadership.
So now you have someone going through complete stress and despair after what they just saw.
And you have
going
the
against
pro manipulator.
It's true.
Like
Gonta, but all it took for Kokichi was a simple sentence, though. Like it was
fair. Yeah, I do think like Kokichi probably
stupid.
Yeah, Kokichi probably could have like convinced a lot of people in that game.
It would have taken a lot more. My point is, imagine for a second that all of them got the flashback light together. Imagine if just one person said, "We need to still leave this place." How would Gonta would have taken that then?
Gonta would have said, "Yeah."
No,
I don't think Gonta would have.
I don't think Gonta would have been secretive about trying to like go.
No, I think he would have said, "If you guys try to leave, I'm going to kill you. I will stop you from leaving, no matter what it takes."
Maybe I could see that. So
Gonta would have Gonta himself probably would have had been killed a different way because he would have stopped them from ever seeing the truth in the end anyway. So
I never really expected Gonta to live till the end.
Yeah, so like my point is, yes, Kokichi is the exact reason why Gonta killed. However, Gonta would have became a problem as soon as he saw that flashback light in the first place because he wouldn't have let you try to go through the route ever again. Like Gonta would have been like basically a human exisal, like stopping you from doing anything. Because like, no, I can't let anybody leave. It's horrible out there.
And the only person who maybe would have had a chance about taking him out would be Maki.
I think Maki and Gonta would have killed each other doing it though. Sure, Maki would have got
Maki could have
would've-
outsmarted him though.
Yes, but
But she
I
like
don't,
wouldn't
think,
get
I don't think anything she could have done
I think Maki just would have shot him
would one
did have
bullet
access
take
to
him out.
guns.
right in the head. Yeah.
Maybe,
She's an
if,
extra-
but Gonta's
I feel like the
really
master
fast
assassin
strong,
would
though.
know how to take
Kill
someone
someone
with
with
one
one
hit.
shot.
It's possible. Like I said, I really do think though, like the ending would have been Maki would have killed Gonta, but Gonta would have killed Maki back. Because like, sure, he would have had some of that stupid strength where like he's not just yet dead and murders her right when she drops her guard. And it's for Gonta, the way he picked up that manhole cover, it would have been easy as like just like twisting his her neck in his fingers. It would have been that easy. Because Maki is strong, but Gonta is freakishly strong.
Maki also prefers.
I mean, he picked the manhole up like this.
Yeah. Also, if Maki's not using guns, she prefers specifically up close killing. Like she does not like long swords,
Up
katanas.
close killing Gonta would have been really difficult.
Yeah. I do think like if out of every single person in that game, Maki was the only one who was maybe somewhat capable of doing it.
But like I said, how
Maybe
many...
Tenko maybe could have not killed him though, put up a fight, defended against him.
Okay, that's
Like, you know,
fair.
she could have utilized his strength against him. I don't know. I don't see how that could have led to his death, but she could have defended against him.
She could have kept him at bay long
I
enough for
don't think
Maki
Tenko
to
could beat
take him
Gonta.
down.
Because I think placebo effect would have taken place.
What?
Would you say that again?
Because I think placebo effect would have taken place with Tenko.
Oh,
come lay
because
down.
she thinks that like a guy
She,
touched her.
she
Well, no, 'cause-
legitimately thinks if she gets touched, she loses her strength. And
well,
so
that's
I
the thing
think
though. She
placebo-
wouldn't actually let Gonta touch her. Like she'd be like brushing him away.
That wouldn't happen. It's Gonta.
No, but that's Aikido. That's the whole fighting style.
But what if she
It's
touches
true.
the
She's
guy?
the master of.
She is the ultimate in Aikido. Like I think she could have
Yeah.
at least kept Gonta at bay long enough for Maki to get weapons.
Then at the same time,
The question is, like,
Go lay down.
first off, Tenko is dead at that point, so it wouldn't matter.
yeah.
Second off, how many people could Gonta kill before Maki got a weapon that was able to suited for keeping him from doing it?
Yeah.
If the
Also,
worst
case
were to
of,
happen.
I forget how, but I'm pretty sure Gonta did actually get Tenko for that like insect meeting.
Yeah.
I forget how it was said that he got her in though.
I think he legitimately just picked her up and took her.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
potentially.
sure he actually abducted a couple people for it.
He didn't. Yeah, no, he did abduct everyone.
Now
Why did
imagine.
Maki? Because Maki said, "Get out of my sight," and he was like, "Okay, bye."
Oh no, like
He was
Gonta was,
Karumi, actually.
Gonta was a soft soul. Like I think Gonta
Yeah.
is a really good character. I think his heart's in the right place. It's just his mind is too stupid.
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't dislike Gonta at all. Like that, I want to make that very clear, Apollo. And I
Oh, no,
understand.
I'm fully aware. I need to defend them with all my heart.
No, I get it.
All right. So let's move on to what if you were in the killing game?
Oh yeah.
Do you think you could survive to the end?
No.
Maybe I could survive till the end. Like I'm not becoming the black end. Like it's gonna need to be an ending like Danganronpa like 1 or something like that, where about 6 people are escaping. Because otherwise, like I need to be that basic plain Jane character who makes it to the end because no one's bothered killing them, and they're not gonna kill anyone else. That's me.
All right.
Like, yeah.
So you guys know how nice I am in real life. I'm very
Mhm.
gullible. I think I would be one of the victims pretty easily. I would not be the black because I cannot kill someone. It's not in me.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess I can't say that because like it'd have to be a very specific thing, and thankfully those games don't involve, they don't involve like that kind of scenario, so it wouldn't happen for me, I guess.
I already.
So
I think you could have it in you to kill someone if Monokuma.
oh yes, if you fucked with my family or
Yeah.
my kids, yes.
I was just about to say.
Monokuma
However-
if
also
Monokuma showed you a
How-
picture of your family, I think you would kill someone.
I would try to kill Monokuma, so I'd be just killed by Monokuma. Because I'm not going to blame somebody else. I wouldn't kill somebody else to save my family.
If you saw, look at it this way. If you had saw Monokuma kill Junko, or whoever the fuck it was, man, we're not gonna get into that shit.
You're right.
I don't think you would have tried to kill Monokuma. You're not that dumb.
Yeah, I would have been Junko though. Like that would have happened there. Like the video would have, the first thing would have went off, and I would have attacked the bear, and I would have gotten killed for it.
You would have got the free warning.
No, because technically the free warning was used up right before the video even happened. So I would have listened. I would have heard the free warning, and I would have attacked the bear and gotten killed just like Junko did. That's how I would have ended up.
You would have saved Junko.
Yeah, I would have. Like, Junko's
saved
twin
the-
sister.
You would have ruined
Antagonist.
everything just because of you.
Yeah. I mean, it would probably would have happened where she would have died anyway later for another reason, probably. But I mean, like, I would have died dumb like that. But like, let's say for the sake of like that motive doesn't happen. My kids, like, I miss my kids, but I'm not gonna kill to get to them. I am so gullible that I probably would have fallen victim to a kill.
Yeah.
Or I would have been a basic bitch and like, kind of the nobody that just gets out of the card, like jail free card. But I've never seen a male archetype get out of there. So I really think I would have just been used as the victim. So I go with no, I don't think I would survive the killing game at all.
I feel like the only way I would have lived the killing game is because I'd be such a bitch. If someone had been like, hey, do you want to do this with me? I'd be like, no, we need the full group going with us. I would never be seen alone with anyone. Like,
you would just do the buddy system.
Not even a buddy system, it's like a full pack. Like,
No,
if there's
I
60
have
people
to
there,
everybody come to the bathroom with me now.
yeah. And like the door is staying open as I'm peeing. I don't care who's seeing. Like there's no even.
Watch me pee.
chance.
There might be a booby trap in the urinal.
Honestly, like I would be taking no chances.
I think that might
Yeah.
work.
It'll keep everyone alive. Then Monokuma, like theoretically, like all these
Oh,
people were thinking, like Monokuma would see me doing that and be like, okay, new motive. If two people walk together, they're shot. Like like he'd like really make up some dumb thing that would be you
Like,
have to
Fuck
betray
this
people.
person in particular. Make sure I make a motive just to get them killed.
Anyone who kills this guy, scot free. You're good.
Yeah.
Just kill him. Take him out.
Get out of jail free card. You kill Apollo, you get out of here.
Hey.
Just because he's absolutely annoying me.
Pretty much all it is.
Oh no!
But yeah.
All right, Bruce.
And
Let's
I
hear
had
it.
what to say, but yeah.
I would kill someone.
I know it.
Yeah. No.
I
You
don't,
get caught.
I don't think I would get killed.
You will.
You would. You would.
From watching all of these games now, I know enough of how to get rid of this.
You
If
know
I would
why you
kill-
get caught? You know why you get caught? You'd underestimate everyone else just like you do now.
I'd kill the
Yeah.
ultimate detective.
I mean, that'd be a smart way to start, but like,
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
It would definitely increase my odds.
I still
And then
think
you
that
know what I would
see,
do?
your
would
downfall would be.
clean up-
Here it is. This is how Brute's trial would go. He would go for the ultimate detective, and the ultimate detective would leave clues to catch you. That's how it happens.
While
You
dead?
underestimate them right there. While
right
dying,
because they're
like
smart.
during the skirmish, they would leave clues to telling who's attacking them.
And you know what's
Yeah.
going to be the whole flip to that? Is I'm going to make sure they die. I'm not walking out of that room like a
Yeah.
Leon situation.
And
then
that's where you'll-
afterwards,
That's
I'm
where you'll
going to
fuck up
es-
though too.
I'm going to establish that I am a very sloppy person, very like lazy, don't do anything, and then clean up every fucking thing. Lay them neatly on their bed like they're not even dead. Like they're just
I'd like to-
asleep.
See, there's a lot of elements that we could go into and make this like an hour-long conversation in itself. But I guarantee you would become the Blacken. You would fuck up that one spot and like that one thing that you underestimate, and it'd all fall apart around you.
I don't think.
But I wouldn't be no
Yeah.
basic first kill, bitch. I would
No.
wait. I would wait and see who's the
You do the
biggest
double
threat.
kill.
I'd say you'd be
Double
you'd be
kill.
about 3 or 4th trial, 3rd or 4th trial.
I would
easily.
do a double kill if I had to too.
4 trial is always about like an attempt trying to end the game or like a self-sacrifice type thing. That's not Brute. He's
So
killing-
three.
He's killing 2
Three.
people.
3-person.
Yeah.
The
I
three-
would,
the
I
three-
would go for
three-
the detective and the second smartest person.
I don't know if you'd
'Cause
be able to
there's-
get both those. I think that's greedy. I think that would itself might fuck you up
Yeah,
because
that
you'd
might be my
attempt it
downfall.
and you'd
Mhm.
attempt that, be like, oh, I gotta cover my ass extra
Also,
hard,
like-
and you just get a little too greedy.
There's a reason people in the games don't go for killing those characters either, because they're the least gullible character. Like to get to certain positions, they're not gonna be like, "Oh, you want to have a chat in this dingy alleyway? Sure, let's go." Like they're not gonna be like
I'm telling
that.
you right now,
Well,
you
that's
wouldn't be
why-
able to pull that on Kyoko at all.
That's
Because
no.
Kyoko's not just a detective; she's actually a very gifted fighter too.
Mm.
She's not like
The-
Sakura levels,
from
but
one?
Kyoko
Yeah.
can
Oh yeah.
Kyoko can actually like quickly disable somebody.
Yeah.
So you ain't pulling that on a Kyoko archetype at
But
all.
then at least I know she's not gonna kill me.
You could maybe pull that off on a Shuichi if you really get him to like
Trust me.
believe in you. But you also feel someone like Makoto who just has dumb luck as well.
Mm.
So it'd be a lot harder said than
My
done,
idea
man.
is that I would try to kill someone that I know wouldn't try to kill me back because they don't want to become blackened. So if I do fail, I'm just seen as nobody
The guy
talked
who
to
wants
him.
to kill people.
Yeah,
You would
don't
be
talk
like,
to him.
you would
Maybe
be
the
first
Nagito.
blamed immediately. You'd be first blamed immediately, just like Nagito.
Yep.
Yeah. For every trial.
Yeah. Well, we should probably take a look at Brute because he's already tried this once.
Yeah.
And I
So
just
maybe that's
see
how
fucking
maybe
big
that's
ass
how Brute
smile.
would get out. Well, actually, no, because then like someone might just kill you just because they can't trust you.
Yeah.
But then,
Then
you
you'd be the
keep me
prime target,
alive
too.
to be used as a victim.
No,
to
like
play.
that's. I think one person would keep you alive to be used as like
And then you know what?
the
You know
who
what
they throw the
happens
blame
after?
onto.
You know what happens after is that I ironically make it to the end.
That's
Because
what that's why I was where I was
playing.
going with that at first. It's like you tried to kill somebody and you're just like labeled as the bad person in the group and you just make it out.
Yeah.
I'm a complete Himiko in that situation where I'm just getting blamed every fucking trial, and it's not me. Even
Yeah,
though
no,
I've
like
tried.
I get it. I gave it my best, failed miserably, but I still survived.
What would you all want to have as like your ultimate, not the ultimate talent that you do have, because I don't necessarily know if any of us have ultimate talents hidden up our sleeves,
Mm.
but like, and that's like less fun because I feel like we'd all be like, oh, game person or whatever, like something basic. Like, if you were to go in, what would you want your ultimate talent to be? Because like, okay, so say it's Danganronpa V3's thing, where like their ultimate talent is kind of like based off their personality somewhat, or like something that could fit them. Doesn't necessarily need to be something that you're like actually ultimate at. But like, what would you want to be the ultimate?
There's literally like.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, what do you want to be good at? Like,
I say like if you made me an archetype, the only talent I actually have that I'm halfway decent at, I'm not the world's best singer, but I think I could fit an ultimate singer build. I'm just not like the best in the world. Or I could just be like the ultimate unlucky student, except not nearly as cool as Makoto, and it just makes fun of me for like
ultimate
dumb stupid
unlucky.
shit. Ultimate unlucky student.
Oh no.
Like I wouldn't have. Maybe I'd have some dumb luck here and there, but like most of the time, I'm like the nurse where I'm tripping over myself, not in the sexy way either. Just like
No, that's in a sexy way.
just fall into a bunch of boxes with like really sharp objects. Ow! Just like
I will say, so Zaddy sent me, and when I was back streaming, when I was streaming Danganronpa 2, Zaddy sent me a screenshot of my stream, which was just my webcam face and a full screen image of like a McCann panty shot covered in like bondage sausages, and that was the thumbnail for my stream. I was like, well, thank God Twitch did that.
That's beautiful. That's
It
perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I think I want to be like I'm definitely not this in real life. I want to be like the ultimate like adrenaline junkie. Because I love roller coasters. I love things like that. Like I do like getting the all adrenaline up. In that, like, not if I have to move for it, but like if I can sit down and get some, I'd love to go skydiving, all that. So I think that'd be a cool character to play.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be very different than what I am.
All right, Brute, go for it.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I think
Ultimate serial killer.
No, I think I'd like to be like the ultimate friendship maker.
The ultimate friend.
Yeah, the ultimate friend.
Okay. All right.
Because then I could easily make friends with everyone, and then kill them.
You're still thinking strategically
I'm
here.
pretty sure that kind of contradicts each other. I don't.
Well,
No,
I
it
could
makes
honestly,
perfect sense.
I will say I could very easily see a game featuring an ultimate friend, and then that person being one of the
Killing
blackened. I could already like their execution has something about like friends turning on them and like killing them or something like that. Like I could
walking in a
easily
field
see
of
that
like other
working.
Monokumas and like easily making friends with them, and then like they turn on you and like
They stab
eat
him
you
in the
like a
back.
zombie horde.
They stab you in the back, just like you stabbed your friend in the back.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
that would like the execution like
as many
building would be
daggers
something
as they
really
can fit
special.
in your
Irony.
As many daggers
Yeah.
they could fit in your back too. It's like a game to them now.
Yeah, I'd like to be the ultimate friend.
Yeah.
And if
All
not,
right.
it also solidifies that nobody's gonna try to kill me. Maybe.
Maybe. Like I said, if you were the Blackened and you tried to kill it and failed miserably, if you had not succeeded, I could see you making it to the end. But if you were the Blackened and succeeded, I guarantee you'll get your ass caught because you'll underestimate someone.
Yeah.
Like it always happens. That's how the killers get caught. they overlook something, and I'm sorry, buddy, I just don't think you're genius level enough to outsmart the main character of the game.
In such an enclosed
Bitch, you
space.
think I'm not the main character?
If
But,
you're
like-
the main character, that's a different game altogether.
Also, just think about like how there's been like 2 impossible to solve cases in the game that still got solved. So it's like
True.
Nagito's and Kokichi's. They were technically like there was no way to know. Nagito's particularly, there is literally no singular way
It was
to
just a
know.
guess. It was a shot in the dark.
Who, yeah, like that's
They had to do.
And even
They
then-
jumped to a conclusion because they had to.
yeah, because there was no actual way of finding out who the killer is. So I'm just saying, like even if you did make an impossible to solve case, it's still be shown they're generally solved.
Then
So,
I'd probably go with the whole, I'm gonna try to fight somebody who I know won't kill me, and let them win the fight.
Hmm.
So now
You
show,
wanna pick one? You say you know they wouldn't kill you, but what if
He
like
gets killed doing that. Right off the
Ayaka
bat.
probably didn't think Leon was gonna kill her.
Oh yeah. She
And
thought she was
he's
safe in
going
the
right
bathroom,
for him.
and he
Yeah.
beat that bathroom in and fucking
put it this way,
murdered her.
like if it was like a Shuichi situation, I don't think Shuichi would ever kill anyone.
Yeah, but Shuichi, like you probably would, like you would just. I don't know, because like saying nobody could kill Shuichi's, I feel is also like underestimating everyone else.
No,
It's like
I don't think Shuichi would kill someone.
no, he wouldn't. So you would target Shuichi. If you succeeded, cool, you might get away with it.
Yeah, you take out the strongest character, basically.
But like I said, I still think Shuichi's also smart enough to leave clues up to you killing him to make sure they found you. Because that's just how Shuichi works as a character.
Yeah.
Like you leave that one clue in like blood or like markings in the room, and you wouldn't notice it, and you'd get caught that way. So sure, you took out like the main character. That's actually like pretty good.
Yeah.
But that main character is smart enough to leave a clue you would overlook and make sure that someone caught you. And like it would be something you wouldn't think of because like Shuichi's like quick on his feet because he's the ultimate detective. That is a hard thing to like outthink because they're already thinking of things you're not thinking of.
Yeah.
Like all the ultimate detectives are very difficult to kill.
The reason none has been killed.
Yeah,
Well,
no, that's actually true.
Other than
None
in
of
an
them-
anime.
I mean, Kyoko would have died trusting Makoto, but like that's only if the player themselves picks the bad end because technically it doesn't allow you to go through that.
It's not canon.
Yeah.
She placed her trust in Makoto because she knew Makoto would trust her back. So
Also, as a quick side note, who I know you probably won't remember names. Who are favorite characters from the anime, like the future arc, particularly?
Oh, fuck.
If you remember any. Okay.
Probably Shiaki.
I was in mine is the ultimate pharmacist.
the bull
psycho.
guy.
The bull guy. Oh, he's pretty good.
I like
Yeah,
the
he's pretty
farmer.
good.
I like the farmer.
It sucks that he
I-
died so early.
Yep. I don't know. I think it was an interesting choice of a character, especially to be the only black character in the series. But yeah,
He's
I
not
like
the
the
only black
Ultimate
character in the
Doctor too.
series. What are you on about?
clearly the other ones are very like anime, where it's like tanned skin.
Angie's black, even in her.
She also has
She's-
blonde hair,
She's brown.
tan with blonde hair.
I
And she's
suppose.
seen from being on an island, so potentially, but like it's still not very clear. And I think Junko's original design, she was supposed to be black, which that could have been an issue on its own, making like the only black character in the game, like the
The
villain.
villain.
But yeah, like that could have been a different twist. But
I would think it would have been awesome because like having Junko become like if Junko was black and became as well known as she was, like she'd be up
Yeah.
there at, like black characters that are just mad respect, man. She's
Yeah.
she's the evil antagonist, like she's the biggest antagonist in the entire series and is in every single game as like
Yeah.
this amazing person, like this amazingly cruel and creative character.
just as iconic as Monokuma.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Like,
you don't do Monokuma
goes hand in
without
hand.
Junko because
Yeah.
like Junko makes
It
Monokuma.
is Monokuma, yeah.
So
Smoogie tried and failed.
technically,
Apparently not.
Monokuma
She did
wasn't
it for
Smoogie
53
though.
seasons.
Tsumugi was in control of Monokuma, but Monokuma was a robot designed like
Which
old
is,
Monokuma.
like I said,
Hmm.
I don't think Monokuma is as good as he is in the other games in 3.
He's not, and that's the whole point.
Like 3 is supposed to be like just slightly off-brand because it's the 53rd season.
Yeah. So.
But
Yeah.
anyways, I think it's gonna be about time to wrap this up. It's
We went
been
for a while.
going on for almost 3 hours.
Mm.
But anyways, thank you all for watching. This is Artemis and Apollo. Make sure to follow them on Twitch and whatever else they go to. Other things. We will see you again in 2 weeks. We're gonna be back on the regular schedule. And yeah. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.